Kane. I live in Western Tamarack.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. If you're new here, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. We are live on 4 radio stations every morning from 6 until 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We live stream every morning. This is the most pro-Trump radio show anywhere in the world and the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. We're about a mile from the ocean here.
So it wasn't that your crook was misdiagnosed.
This is our top of the hour break.
Dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
They put a new amplifier in over the weekend, so the speakers sound so good, and they're in like stereo, so I'm a little off.
That is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser, because most are like this guy.
Yeah, Fred. Where are you, Fred?
Tamarack, the crooks, and we found.
Oh, you're in the New Orleans area. Oh my goodness.
The owner and listener of the program, they come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the good story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245.
I was just watching that new movie with Will Smith, Power, that takes place in Atlanta.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel
on Netflix.
Hey
Terry, watched it last night. It's not that bad, low budget,
at the time of your passing,
but it was all right. Casey Neistat is in it. That's why I watched it. He has a little tiny cameo.
From Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
All right. Here we go, guys.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show,
The
Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free,
this new amplifier is amazing.
1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's
Here we go.
1-888-GO-KANE 1. And now, here's...
All right. Welcome. It's a new week, people. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. This is the longest-running radio show in the state of Florida. This is also the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere in the world. I promise you that. You'll never find anyone who supports Trump as much as I do. I will never criticize nor disagree with the president. He is always right. Welcome so much. It's Monday, August 24th, 2020, and hopefully this convention week will be more exciting than last week's. Oh, my goodness. That Democrat convention was so boring. Last week was torture for me on the air because that convention was so terminally boring. I want to talk a little bit here in the beginning. Kellyanne Conway, we're going to talk a little bit about Kellyanne Conway. Very sad news to report. Kellyanne Conway has left the White House. She has left because her lowlife husband has poisoned her 15-year-old child against her and forced Kellyanne Conway out of the White House. So her very strange, bizarre, sicko husband has gotten exactly what he wants. Kellyanne Conway out of the Trump White House. Who is left outside of the family? Who is left inside the White House with the president who was there with him in the beginning? Who's left? The left have turned Kellyanne Conway's 15-year-old child against her. They've got Steve Bannon arrested. I tell you, these never-Trumpers and low-life Democrats will stop at nothing. Why can't they just sit back and wait 4 more years? It'll be over. You'll get one of your establishment sellouts back eventually. Oh, my goodness. This thing with Kellyanne Conway, though, her daughter's 15, and if you haven't been following this just disaster that's been going on in Kellyanne Conway's family the past couple of months, Kellyanne Conway's 15-year-old daughter has been online the last couple of months trashing Trump, trashing her mom, doing live streams, and there was one live stream a few weeks back. She was in her bedroom trashing her mom, trashing Trump, and it was on the weekend. Kellyanne Conway was home, and she came in and stole the phone away from her daughter live during the live stream. So she's like, now, but here's the thing. She's been with Trump since the beginning, right? So she's been with Trump for how long? 5 years? Her daughter's 15. this is working in the White House is like having 5 jobs, right? Her daughter is acting out because she hasn't had her mom around for the last 5 years. So from the time she was 10 until now she's 15, she hasn't had her mom around. Not really. She works day and night. Oops, sorry guys, I gotta fix something here. Hold on, the feed might get a little messed up here for a second because I gotta plug in the microphone. There we go. There we go. All right, here we are. Got the mic back. I forgot to plug the mic in on YouTube Live. Okay, so, Kellyanne Conway, she basically, I wouldn't say completely, but has almost abandoned her daughter for the last 5 years. It's almost like child neglect for the past 5 years. Those are very important years. 10 to 15, oh man. Very important years. And, if you look at people that are incredibly successful, in particular in politics, they always have rotten relationships with their children. Look at Ronald Reagan, right? Ron Reagan Jr. and his daughter was acting out. They would act out while he was in the White House. Remember, Ron Reagan Jr. made a movie where he played the racist and was dropping the N-word all the time. And his daughter used to run around running away from her Secret Service. She even did Playboy. I don't remember if... Was it Patty? Was that her name? Did she pose in Playboy before or after Reagan left the White House? I don't know. He got a good relationship with Michael Reagan, but the other two, it's a train wreck. So, when people rise to that level, like, president working in the White House and everything, they neglect their children. Typically, though, it's men and not the mother. Kellyanne Conway is a little different because she's the mom and she hasn't been around her daughter in a normal way for at least 5 years. Very important years. So I think her daughter, while it may be very crazy what you see online, I can understand it. And does her daughter, I'll throw this out to you. Does Kellyanne Conway's daughter, because you followed some of this, over the weekend it came out that Kellyanne Conway's daughter wanted to be emancipated from her parents. Well, doesn't help that Kellyanne Conway's lowlife husband is always trashing Trump and everything on television. What a lowlife that guy is. But anyway, do you believe, yes or no, give me a call, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I want to hear some people. Has Kellyanne Conway neglected her daughter? Is what this whole thing that's going on with her and her daughter, has she neglected her child? Those are some of the most, Patty Davis, that's correct. There's some of the most important years in someone's life when they're growing up as a parent. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I would say yes. I would say that if you are a parent of a young child, you have no business taking on a job where you're working 100 hours a week away from home. And even if you're home, it's just to change clothes and probably spend half the time at home on the phone dealing with all the damage control that's going on. I love Kellyanne Conway. She's spectacular. I love Steve Bannon too. I mean, think about this. There 3 of the 4 senior people in the Trump campaign that got him elected in 2016, 2 have been arrested, 1's in prison, 1's marriage and relationship with their child is a wreck. Corey Lewandowski is the most normal out of those 4. Look at how they've been destroyed. Their lives have been destroyed. Now, a lot of it's been destroyed because of these low-life never-Trumpers and Democrats and the media, right? But I don't think, I think Kellyanne Conway is an example of what happens when someone tries to do this. Remember all the controversy with Murphy Brown and Dan Quayle? A lot of you probably don't even know who those 2 names are, but can a mother have a job like this and be a good mom? What is the role of a mother? No, I would say I love Kellyanne Conway. I love her. She's great. I love her every time she's on television. She played a very important role in getting President Trump elected, but she neglected her kid. Sorry. You can't have a job like that and not be around between the ages of 10 and 15 for your child, and then wonder why they want to be emancipated and are going on TikTok and whatever she goes on, making crazy videos. The daughter was, of course, poisoned by the father, Kellyanne Conway's husband, but her daughter also just wants the attention of her mom. Get out of the work, come home. Wanted to, I think so much damage has been done between Kellyanne Conway and her daughter. Oh my goodness, it may be beyond the point of repair. Her marriage is a wreck, Kellyanne Conway. Her relationship with her child is a wreck. And now she's left, and it's a terrible thing. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Has Kellyanne Conway neglected her child? Can a woman really do it all? Oh, they can do it all. We do it all. Can a woman do it all and have a healthy relationship with their child? In Kellyanne Conway's case, I would say no. 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Well, we got a lot to talk about today, not just this, but I want to hear your thoughts on this. I'm going to play a little bit later of the Biden-Kamala interview with that Mueller on ABC. Did you see how far away Kamala Harris was from Joe Biden? Was that because of the corona? Or does Dr. Jill Biden not trust a homewrecker type like Kamala around her husband? I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. They seem to be far. I mean, my goodness, how do they even find a room big enough to be that far away? I mean, I couldn't believe. I would say it's a little bit more than the corona. I would say Jill Biden does not want Kamala around her man. Not that he could perform if he wanted to. I don't know. But yeah, that's what it looks like to me. All right, let's take our first break of the week, first break of the day. I'll get into some of the audio soundbites, but I want to hear your thoughts on Kellyanne Conway. Has Kellyanne Conway neglected her daughter? Is her daughter a victim of child abandonment by her mother, Kellyanne Conway? Again, I love Kellyanne Conway, but she made a choice. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. That's our number. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631. All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Break here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience.
Oh, hold on. Let me check out the audio because I forgot to plug in the mic right in the beginning. I plugged it in a few minutes ago. Let me make sure I got it. Right in the beginning, I plugged it in a few minutes ago. Let me make sure I got it. All right, let me do a test. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. A few minutes ago. Let me make sure I got it. All right, let me do a test. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Perfect. Well, the husband had a lot to do with it, no doubt about
Tires,
it.
right? So you bought new tires because they also sell used.
But I think a mom should be with her child.
Sizes, but you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000-mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best basis.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much. I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Yep.
It's summertime, and that means backyard grilling time. There's no better grill than the Big Green Egg Grill, available at Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware. The Big Green Egg is the world's most versatile
Kellyanne Conway and Steve Bannon are the best.
It's made of advanced ceramics, retains heat and moisture so that foods don't go dry. The Big Green Egg isn't just another grill. It's also an oven and smoker. It's the only outdoor cooker
they put a new amplifier, the engineer, over the weekend here in the studio. The speakers sound so good, and they're in stereo stereo.
Bread, pizza, cookies, cakes, and pies.
It's
It
throwing
can
me
smell
off.
Turkey,
I'm
ham,
here,
lamb,
I'm here.
chicken, and ribs for hours on end. Your neighbors will be impressed and come over just to watch you cook on the Big Green Egg. The Big Green Egg is available at Ace Hardware Deerfield at 365 South Federal Highway, just south of Hillsboro, on the west side of US 1, and at Beach Ace Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea. If you have any questions, call Ace Hardware Deerfield at 954-531-6265. 954-531-6265. And Beach Ace Hardware at 954-776-5811. And when you stop in, make sure you tell Frank you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place for the helpful hardware, folks. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, 19 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Welcome, one and all. New week, all exciting stuff here. You know, I was just reading this story on Drudge. White House and Trump's campaign dismiss recording in which President's sister says you can't trust him. The White House and the Trump campaign on Sunday dismissed secretly recorded audio in which Trump's sister, Marianne Trump Berry, said the president has no principles. You can't trust him. Mary Trump, the president's niece, by the way, was Mary Trump at the funeral at the White House for her uncle? Mary Trump, the president's niece, taped 15 hours of face-to-face conversations with the president's sister in 2018 and 2019. Who the hell does that? Have any of you ever taped hours and hours of conversations with aunts and uncles? What the hell kind of person does that? I'd like to hear these tapes. She provided the tapes to the Washington Post with previously unreleased transcripts and audio. In an interview on ABC News' This Week, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows said Trump has been public with his response. Just another day and another attack that we continue to see. I've never met the judge, Meadows says, of Marianne Trump, who retired last year from her job as a federal judge. I was at the funeral the other day. I was hoping to meet her there. She didn't show up for her brother's funeral. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's the thing. She didn't show up for the funeral of her brother at the White House. Okay. This is what they don't get in the media. This is what they don't get on the left, the never Trumpers. They don't understand. None of this matters to any of us on the Trump train. If 15 hours of audio recordings of Melania trashing Trump, right, were released, and they were recent since he had been president, even confirming the lies and slanders about him, like say that if she was about Stormy Daniels, it wouldn't change a damn thing. I'd still vote for him. This is what they don't get. They don't understand it. They're always looking for some scheme to get us to jump off the Trump train. Ain't gonna happen. Melania could have the 15 hours of tape and a book trashing Trump. We'd all still vote for him. We would not care. This is bigger than that. Democrats should be familiar with this. Look at all the things you've covered up with Ted Kennedy, Bill Clinton, and others. Okay? They just don't get it. It doesn't matter to us. They just... Oh, man. This conflict inside the Trump family, all kinds of families, most families have conflicts, especially when you're dealing with the type of money that you're dealing with in the Trump family. There are so many jealousies, money and celebrity, that's in the Donald Trump wing of the family that the others don't have. And a lot of this, I promise you, boils down to jealousy over money and celebrity, but mostly money, because it's never enough. I'm sure they all profit from the Trump organizational success, but there's always, that's one of the things Attorney Barry Siegel talks. That's why a revocable living trust is so important. When there's money involved, large like that, or just an average middle class, people and families, it gets very cutthroat and nasty, and I promise you, money, and all kinds of other problems. Yes. All right, so, what are they going to do? Our convention starts today, and this one's got to be more exciting than last week's. I mean, was the convention last week of the Democrats the most boring thing you've ever seen? Oh my goodness. Donald Trump doesn't do boring. This is not going to be boring. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be very exciting. But I'll tell you, CNN's Brian Stelter. Do I have this audio? Let me see if I have the audio of this. Hold on a second. Oh, yes. Brian Stelter over at the Clinton News Network, CNN, made a stunning announcement over the weekend on CNN. You know, I tell you, CNN has really gone down the tubes. I was last night on YouTube. This came up. I was watching old news footage on YouTube last night, and I was watching the live CNN coverage of President Reagan's shooting by John Hinckley. And the only person I can remember I remember watching the coverage that day, like it was yesterday, but I watched about an hour or two of it. And man, how has the news changed? CNN used to be classy. They used to have real reporters. They were getting information live, but they wanted to confirm it before they would go on the air, and they were respectful and respectable and dignified and were fact-checking before they went on the air. What a big difference between CNN then and now. Now it's just talk. It's a talk show. It's The View 24/7. That's what it's all become. But Brian Stelter made a stunning announcement about how CNN is going to be covering the Republican National Convention this week. Listen to this. This is Brian Stelter, CNN over the weekend.
And the television networks are going to have interesting choices to make, interesting decisions to make about whether to cut away if there's this stream of disinformation happening live.
If there's this stream of disinformation happening live. So what he's suggesting is CNN, if they believe something is disinformation, they may cut away because they are the truth tellers. See, you and the viewing audience are too stupid to form your own opinion. CNN is going to do it. So, yes, if there's disinformation, CNN may cut away, but he's not done. He gets into a lot of detail. Brian Stelter over the weekend.
And the television networks are going to have interesting choices to make, interesting decisions to make about whether to cut away if there's this stream of disinformation happening live. Now, I can tell you, Daniel Dale, CNN's fact checker, he will be standing by. I think you will see him in prime time here.
Wow, they're going to have a senior fact checker with his finger on the button to cut away if there's misinformation. Wow. Back to it. Brian Stelter.
Here on CNN, providing fact checks when necessary. But I also think we're going to see asymmetry in the way Fox covers the convention. Right, the 9 p.m. hour, Hannity was live during the Democrats, not really showing the Democratic convention. I suspect he will show a lot more of the Republican convention.
Yes, he will.
The scene on Fox when CNN and MSNBC were showing the Democratic campaign ads. And look, I get it, they were campaign ads. But there's an asymmetry in the political universe. And sometimes it's called asymmetrical polarization, where there's more extreme behavior going on the right than on the left. There is an asymmetry in our media as well.
No, he doesn't.
Where Fox is off there on the right in ways that the other networks are not, in the middle or on the left. And what we are seeing currently in our political system in America is asymmetrical lying, where one side does it a whole lot more than the other, where one leader and his followers mislead the public a lot more than the other side. And if we don't tell that story truthfully and honestly, then we're part of the problem.
So they will have truth teller, fact checkers on standby during the live Republican National Convention. And if there is a falsehood, they will immediately cut in because they're not going to let lies on CNN. You know, the second, letter in CNN is N, and that stands for news, right? Cable News Network. You don't decide what is truth with it or not. When you're talking about a live news event, which the convention is, you let the viewers decide what's real or not, what they should believe or not. Wow. I wonder how much power he has. When I was watching this cover, and you can find this, it was very interesting. It was CNN. This is on YouTube. It was really about a 2 to 3 hour thing. I fast forwarded through a lot, but it was CNN's live coverage of the shooting of President Reagan by John Hinckley. And it started during the speech that the president gave at that hotel. And then he walked, and it was the whole thing. And they were getting live information, and they had the CNN's Washington managing editor coming in with a clipboard, giving the anchors information live on the air and everything like this. And they were going to this person and that person, and they actually had real news people on CNN back then, and real news people running the joint. Now they have like Hollywood people running it. Who's that guy that runs CNN? Zucker? Yeah, looks a little bit like Brian Stelter. Maybe it's just they're both obese. I don't know, but it's not journalism anymore. It's just that. Now I'll tell you this: CNN. See, this is so frightening. If I were a liberal, I'd get off. I used to be, but if I were now, I'd be out of there. This is like North Korea. You know, they're talking about North Korea. Kim Jong-un is in a coma. His sister is taking command. So goes the story. It's being widely reported, including in the Daily Mail. So I don't know if that's true or not. We've heard stories, But CNN is running things like North Korea would run it, or Saddam Hussein's Iraq, like Baghdad Bob over there at CNN. And it really reminds me a lot of Saddam Hussein, because if you remember, CNN had Peter Arnett in the first Gulf War in '91 in Baghdad, and he would be reporting, and then while he was reporting, the Iraqis would cut him off or interrupt and say, no, you can't say that, you can't. Remember all that? Sometimes the screen would go black. Remember those Peter Arnett days during Gulf War I? That's what they're talking. Oh, no, those are lies. Cut it. But that's the President of the United States. But he's lying, and we're cutting away. I'm Brian Stelter. Oh, my goodness. There's a major story missing from the news today. Didn't see it anywhere mentioned. It's like forgotten. I'll tell you about that after the break. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane with a K, like in Kamala. K-A-N-E. And the number 1-888-465-2631. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
The Siegel Law Group, my good friend Barry Siegel. Barry, how are you doing today?
Steve, good morning. I'm having a great morning.
Welcome, everyone, to the program.
I'm having a great morning and looking forward to our
breakfast. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe.
Today I want to talk about...
If you are subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Click the notification bell and like the video, please. But if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Share the feed on all of your social media with any appropriate hashtags you think could bring in all your friends and followers. Let me see which one it was. I did, but I don't remember what yours was. I got so many messages over the weekend.
One is your healthcare surrogate designation, which allows you to name those who get the responsibility of making important medical decisions for you if you don't have the capacity to do so yourself. Those decisions could include end-of-life decisions such as...
By the way, that Mark Levin thing, that's so old. I've played that so many times. I haven't played it like in 10 years, but the Bob Hope thing.
Will, which is the document, think of it as a memo to your healthcare decision maker as to whether you want to have your plug pulled or not.
There's the trick.
So
you guys hear the
train?
train?
You have the mental capacity and you're either have a terminal condition, an end-stage condition, or a persistent vegetative state like that Terry Schiavo had over in that Clearwater case many years ago. Then it says you either want the machines keeping you alive, helping you breathe, and the feeding tube and the water tube, or you want those things removed. And then the one that most people don't know about is the HIPAA authorization, and that's so important. The HIPAA...
About what? What? Message me and tell me what you want me to call you about.
Portability and Accountability Act that came into law in 2003. And so now when you go to the doctor, they want you to sign off that you read their HIPAA policy, and essentially that says that they can share your medical information with other medical providers, but not with anyone else. But with your HIPAA document in your estate planning, it says
on Twitter,
the medical provider not to share your medical information with anyone except for the people you list on that document, such as your spouse or your brother, your sister, your parents, your children, or friends. Whoever you name they can access your medical information, your records, and speak to the medical providers. Without that, they're trained not to give out that information, and that could be a disaster. So those are the 3 important healthcare documents that are part of an overall estate plan.
All right, there you have it. If you want to make an appointment with Attorney Barry Siegel, you're going to find him a delight to deal with, very knowledgeable, and he can help you solve those problems that are, for some people, very difficult to solve. Call to make that appointment, 1-855, that's toll free, by the way, 1-855-FLA 3782. Barry, good talking to you. We'll speak soon, all right?
Okay, Steve.
Take care, my friend. All right.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWE.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. It's Monday, 34 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, over the weekend, I took a news break. I got off the air on Friday. I did my podcast in the afternoon, and then I was done with the news until the president came on yesterday at 5:30. So I took a 2-day break from the news, really 48 hours. And you know what? Nothing changed. Trump's this, Trump's a liar, he's terrible, he's responsible. You know, and I recommend over the weekend doing that, taking a break from the news. I know a lot of people say, you can't do that, you can't do that. If there's breaking news, you'll find out about it. It's not good for your health to watch these poisonous people in the cable news cycle do the things that they do. No, I take a break. I went to Walt Disney World on Saturday. I went to Epcot Center. And, you know, I tell you, I go up there every couple of weeks. And went up there, had some champagne on Saturday. I was just having a good old time. And I'll tell you, when I was up at Walt Disney World on Saturday, this was my 4th time in one of the theme parks since they reopened. And I've been up there 6-8 times since it started opening up there. So far as coronavirus in Florida goes, you know, people want to get back to normal, okay? They want to get back to normal. And the biggest takeaway, that's why people are up there. People want to get back to normal. I'm not saying they don't take precautions. I got my mask here. I'm washing my hands all the damn time. I don't go anywhere without hand sanitizer. I do all the social distancing. I do everything you're supposed to do. Right? And I'm not suggesting that people do not do that. But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris gave an interview. And let me see if I got this, because Biden, let me see here. Let me see here. Was it in that clip? I'm not sure which one of these clips it's in. I'll play this one, but let me see if it's this one here. But Joe Biden made a comment in this first interview that should be the talk of the nation. Should really be another moment in time that all but ends his candidacy.
Come January, and we have coronavirus and the flu combining, which many scientists have said is a real possibility. Would you be prepared to shut this country down again?
I would be prepared to do whatever it takes to save lives, because we cannot get the country moving until we control the virus. That is the fundamental flaw of this administration's thinking to begin with. In order to keep the country running and moving and the economy growing and people employed, you have to fix the virus. You have to deal with the virus.
So if the scientists say shut it down?
I would shut it down. I would listen to the scientists.
Wow. Vote for me. I'm going to put the country under house arrest and shut down everything. Vote for me, and you free Americans will be forced to not go to work. All the businesses will be shut down, and you'll all be under house arrest. Vote for me. Why is no one talking about this? I mean, this is insanity. What I see are people getting back to, you know, talked about this a lot, it's true. Our culture has changed this year. Our culture has changed. And, you know, the masks are never going away. There will be people wearing masks for years. And I got to tell you, I know a lot of you give me a hard time. I might be one of them. I kind of like the fact that I've gone through an entire year without even getting a cold. When has that happened before? Not to me. I'm always getting colds and things like this. I haven't even gotten a cold this year. And it's because so we're going to be washing our hands, spraying everything with Lysol, hand sanitizer, masks. That's the new normal. It's going to be that way for many of us for many, many years. Okay? And the fact that people are making so many changes, if somebody gets exposed or they think that they go to any lab test now of Boca or Coral Springs, you get tested, find out if you're okay, if you're positive, if you got the antibodies, you find out all that stuff over there. Our culture our behaviors have been changed in such a way that it's this, Biden's talking about like it's March. And let me tell you, this is very scary what he's saying. Vote for me, I'm going to lock you all the hell up. That's right. We're going to do everything at home. You'll just order DoorDash. But I got no money, Biden. I don't have a Burisma scam deal. I don't have diamonds from China like you and Hunter have. Yeah, but so what? You got to stay in your house. You can't go to work. You can't earn money. They don't get it. Not everybody's rich and has, corrupt family doing corrupt things to have unlimited amounts of wealth. Like you, Joe Biden. You know what I'm talking people that go to work. But our behaviors have changed so much that I think just the behavior change has reduced our risk factors a lot, hasn't it? Got a tip for you. Getting gas is when I get gas, that's the time I worry the most. And what I've been doing, and then a listener gave me a tip on what they're doing, and I think I'll definitely be doing this. But usually what I do when I get gas is I take the paper towels that they have at the gas pump, a few of them, and it's hard because they're not big enough to go around it, but I use those on the gas pump, you know what I mean? And one of our listeners, Gary, he said what he did, and I'm going to start doing this. He uses the plastic grocery bags from Publix. He takes them in the car. He uses that to hold, he puts his hand in it, like a lot of people use them to pick up the dog do when they're walking the dogs, and he puts his hand in the plastic Publix grocery bag and uses that on the gas pump, and then when he's done, he just lets it go in the garbage can at the gas. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to put Publix bags in my car and do that. But our behaviors have changed on everything, and all of you out there who say it hasn't, come on. And every time I touch anything, I've got hand sanitizer, That's right. But, Biden, vote for me. We're going to shut all the businesses down, and you're going to be locked up in your home, if the doctors tell me. Well, what doctors are those? And, this has got to really be exposed, because this is the big fear. And this is going to the Democrats one day, not this time, but one day will be back in power. It's going to happen, hopefully many years from now. But they're going to use this public health crisis of 2020 to get all their agenda done. Remember that I was sharing with you that email I got from Walgreens on Friday's show, that racism is a public health crisis. A mental health crisis, but it's a public health crisis. Systematic racism, you whiteys don't understand, and it's a mental health crisis for you and those that you're racist against. Remember that thing on Friday? Democrats come in. Climate change is a global health crisis. And they'll start passing edicts to stop the rising seas that aren't rising. Okay? Racism, public health crisis. They'll start with executive orders at all levels of government to deal with the systematic health crisis of racism. They're going to do this. Guns. They've been talking about this for a long time. Gun control is a public health issue, they'll tell you. So we've got to have executive orders on guns because it's a public health issue. Everything will be a public health issue with these Democrats, and they won't have any legislation. They'll just have executive orders at the governor's levels and the president's. Now they got the governors into executive orders big time, and those are more difficult to overturn because parties don't change in the governor's mansion as much as presidents change, believe it or not. Vote for me. I'm going to shut the country down and lock you all the hell up. That's what Biden says. That's been totally disappeared. That should end. this pathetic candidacy of his. All right. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. Let's take a break, all right? We'll take our break, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Suffer from foot pain that just won't go away? Do you have balance issues, and are you afraid of falling? Are you in need of orthotics? Are you a diabetic and in need of diabetic shoes and custom inserts? These are just a few reasons why you would call the Soul Authority today. Whether it's in the comfort of your own home or coming to the office at one of our 2 convenient locations in Pembroke Pines or Tamarack, the Soul Authority can take care of all of your podiatric needs. If you're a Medicare recipient, call us today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. And you can also find us online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Call the Soul Authority today and start taking care of your feet.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
It's hurricane
You can see one of the speakers on my right.
Are you prepared?
The speakers are in front of me. There's one on each side, but that one you can see right there. It's ahead of me up here hanging off the ceiling.
Ace carry generators for all sizes.
It's much bigger than it looks in the video.
Once a hurricane is on television, generators are the first thing to sell out, but you will have the security of knowing you will not be without electricity if a hurricane hits. With your generator from Ace, you will have the security for every hurricane season to come. Ace also have an incredible selection of chainsaws to cut away the falling debris. Ace Hardware Deerfield is just south of Hillsboro on the west side of US 1. Beach Ace Hardware is located at 232 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale.
I can't do that today, Michael, but I'll get in touch with you.
Beach Ace Hardware, your first stop for hurricane prep. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, if you're just tuning in, lots happening. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Kellyanne Conway has left the White House or is leaving. I'm asking people if Kellyanne Conway has neglected her child. I say yes. A lot of other things on the table, too. Biden, vote for me. I want to put you all under house arrest. There's lots going on. Let's go to the phones. First call of the week. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hi. I had a good idea for a political commercial. They could have Biden saying he was going to shut the country down next to the clip where he said he's going to put y'all back in chains.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know what? I would show Biden saying that he's going to shut down the country, put everyone under arrest, everyone out of work, go around and show all the poverty, hunger, and close down businesses, and then show Hunter Biden just throwing money at strippers out in Hollywood. Come on, I got all my Burisma money, you know. Yeah, exactly. What a creep. Is there any excitement for Biden, you think?
No.
Yeah, I know. And why do you think he was sitting 30 feet away from Kamala in their first interview? Is it because of Corona, or does his wife not trust Kamala around her husband?
I think they hate each other's guts.
Okay, all right. Appreciate the call. First call of the week. First call. Quality, okay. She had a little something there, but she's trying. First time caller, you got to give first time caller a break. Oh boy. Yes. All right, so there's so much happening. What else did I want to talk about her early on in the first hour? I lost my train of thought. That happens sometimes. Kellyanne Conway out, neglecting her daughter. Yes, they wanted to talk about. There was something I wanted to bring up when I got back from the break, and I forgot what it was when I took that call. Oh, well, and what are you going to do? I was taking the call while I try to recollect. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Richie.
Yeah, no kidding. Richie the bus driver. Yes.
Well, I heard you talking about going to Disney World and getting away from the news cycle. I don't know if you're aware. I believe, first of all, there were riots going on around Charlotte, North Carolina, around the convention center.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. This started Friday night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but now something is, I don't know, because I just woke up, so I'm gonna fill you in on something. I don't know whether this is gonna outdo the Republicans.
Well, I didn't say that I don't know what's going on, Richie. Believe me, I'm well prepared to be on the. When you were driving a bus, did you drive buses on the weekend, or did you stop driving buses over the weekend?
I stopped driving.
Well, of course, the weekend's supposed to have a break, so the news is what I got to deal with all week. I think it's okay for me to take a break from the news for a day over the weekend. Act like I'm being neglectful.
So, do you know what happened last night in Kenosha, Wisconsin?
There were riots and violence all over the place. Which one? What happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin?
5:30 last night. I saw it on video, and this is going to blow up. This is going to outnews the Republican convention, because now wait till it gets around. Listen, they shot a black man went to his daughter was in a fight.
Yeah, I saw this one. The unarmed black man that was shot by the cops.
Times in the back.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they were ripping the police cars apart and to try to attack the cops. And this is going to go on all.
Well, why did they? Yeah, I saw that story, and we don't have a lot of information about it yet. What led up to that, but what justification did they have to shoot an unarmed man in the back 7 times? 7 times in the back.
Yeah, they had him. The cop that shot him had him by his white shirt.
See, I think what a lot of this is. I mean, I know a little bit about guns. I think part of there's a lot of problems. Okay, a lot of problems, but I think now again, if we have some police officers out there who would like to comment on this, you can call in anonymously, because I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I maybe police officers should be carrying revolvers and not semi-automatic weapons, because the semi-autos, you hear 7 times in the back. In a semi-auto, 7 rounds comes out really quick. Click, 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 click. If you've got a revolver, it slows it down a little bit. Like in the old days when the cops always carried those police 38s with the long barrel 38s, things like that. So maybe they should be carrying revolvers and not semi-autos. Maybe that would help a little bit. I mean, you don't even have 7 shots in a revolver. I did see some video of it this morning, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of,
Richie wants to quiz like I'm not prepared to be on the radio. That's what he's trying to do here.
I know there was supposed to be children in the backseat of that car.
I don't know. I know 7 shots in the back seems excessive and inappropriate, but we'll have to see what comes out of that. I don't know.
In the back.
Yeah, I know.
They had ways of stopping this guy, and now and what happened afterwards is and this is going to go all over the country. This is going to be a big deal. I'm telling you.
All right, Richie.
You don't need this right now.
Well, the violence is crazy. I was watching yesterday morning. See, what Richie's trying to do is quiz. Like, oh, you took a break. You're not prepared. You shouldn't be on the air. I was watching on YouTube yesterday morning the recent. Like in the last couple of days, the violence in front of the police station in Portland with Antifa and the White Black Lives Matter. And this young conservative girl went and interviewed some of them, and she walked with them to the police station. And they walked through a regular residential neighborhood at night, yelling on bullhorns, if we can't sleep, you can't sleep. Get the F out of your house, mother effers, we're here. And they go to the police station, and this girl, she interviewed a couple of the guys, and she's pretty. So these Antifa guys, they're not all gay. They talk to her a little bit. She can get them to loosen up because she's good looking. And the guy said, hey, we're not getting what we want, so we're entitled to do this violence until we get what we want. And these people have insurance anyway, so it doesn't. They don't understand. You know what? If you look at watching this violence from somebody that's in the crowd is so different than watching it from far away on a cell phone camera. That a lot of these you're seeing in the news. These are some of the scariest people I've ever seen. I saw one story this morning at one of the protests over the weekend, and Antifa was throwing balloons at police officers that had feces in them. Now, how the hell were they getting feces inside these balloons and then blowing them up? I mean, I don't know what the hell that's about or how that's even done. I don't know if I want to know, but, you know, they need to arrest all of these people. And don't arrest them on charges where they get bailed out as fast as Bannon got bailed out the other day. They need to stay in jail for a few days.
Saturday, when you were in Epcot Center, they had a Patriot March in Portland, a counter protest.
Yeah.
That turned into civil violence.
Well, of course. That's stupid. You don't do conservatives should not be doing counter protest to Antifa. You're asking for trouble then. You know they knew it's going to happen.
The Patriots were beat up. They chased them down.
I don't trust people that call themselves patriots and stuff too much. You know, if somebody told you, okay, we're going to get involved in our Patriot MAGA march here in Portland to counter Antifa, you'd say, what the hell are you doing? You're going to cause that's inciting violence because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and then the police came in afterwards, went to the park, and then they attacked the police again, and the police retreated back to the police station.
No, this violence that's going on is frightening. What's behind it, I don't know. You know, this thing in Portland, they showed this one girl who, they're all covered up, masks head to toe, you know, and paramilitary outfits, and she's wearing some type of like football pads or something on the outside, and she's got this umbrella, and she's doing this dance in front of the police station, twirling the umbrella. Go arrest her.
Brian, it was Denver, Colorado. They attacked the police station. They hit them. They put mortar.
That's right. Yeah, Denver had a big thing, and Denver's got a fire situation. Not as bad as California, but there's a fire situation in Colorado, and they're out there doing this.
Well, now it's going to be totally out of control, and I know this country doesn't need this problem right now.
Well, you know, out of control. You know, it's happening in liberal cities and liberal towns, and you know, liberals are letting it happen, and the liberal government officials are letting it happen. And you know, in the long run, this will all evaporate after the election, because if you remember, Black Lives Matter was on the march 5 years ago, and as soon as Trump won, the funding stopped. You know what I mean? These are people that are being paid to be out there for the most part.
A truck, believe it or not, in Denver, a white van pulled up with all sorts of bricks and explosives, and they were grabbing them off the truck.
Yeah.
It's like a military operation.
These are very well coordinated. This is very well coordinated. And, I was really disgusted by Martha McCallum Friday. I talked about this on my podcast if you were listening. Martha McCallum really pissed me off Friday. She was on the 5, and she was talking about how she jogs by the White House every morning, you know? And she says when she jogs, she sees the burned out buildings, the broken windows, the graffiti everywhere, you know, by the park, by the White House. And I'm thinking, instead of jogging by Martha McCallum, take a damn film crew over there from Fox and show people what's going on instead of sitting here yucking it up with Gutfeld, you know, about, you know, what you're going to do over the weekend. I mean, you know, the news aren't covering any of this. And Martha McCallum, that was, I mean, I thought it made her look terrible, making this admission that she's seen what they've done to the community and they won't go over there. And I'll tell you what's missing from the news. The president had that amazing press conference last night about fast-tracking this coronavirus treatment, and they're not even trashing it this morning. It's like it didn't happen.
Oh, they trashed it right away?
Oh, right away they were doing it, but they immediately they were discounting it. But if you look in the news this morning, it's disappeared already. Very little coverage of this breakthrough.
Wolf Blitzer on it right away. I turned to it just to get my idea what they were going to say. Wolf Blitzer had Dr. Gupta, who said this is not news. This is all blown out of proportion. I mean, this and this is not a new thing. And they discredited the president immediately. This man cannot do anything right by these people. It's to the point where
the only thing he can do right by them is leave office, and he'll probably do that wrong too for them. And I thought it was very nice, very sharp of President Trump. That press conference yesterday was amazing. He didn't have Fauci out there. He didn't have Birx out there, you know. And he took like 3, 4, 5 questions. That was it. He got the hell out of there.
Here's the last thing with the virus, okay? Biden says, I will listen to the science. I will listen to Dr. Fauci. Well, that's exactly what President Trump has done, and that's why he's in this situation.
The only reason that Fauci hasn't been fired by the president is because he has some control over him as long as he still has this job. You know, the minute he fires him, he'll sign a deal with CNN 5 minutes later, and he'll be camped out on CNN trashing everything that he does. All right, Richie, appreciate the call. See, Richie's trying to act like, oh, you didn't watch the news all day Saturday. No, I live life. I don't want to wreck my family like Kellyanne Conway has wrecked hers, Richie. So then Richie, if you guys notice, he starts to quiz me. Did you know about this? Did you see that? What happened there? Are you prepared to be on the radio? I tell you, Richie, Richie doesn't mean to be the way he is. He's just, you know. All right, listen. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. 1 hour down. 2 hours to go. It's Monday, August 24th, 2020. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. All right, it's 7 a.m. We'll be back after this.
5.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
This is Steve Kane, and I wanted to share with you some thoughts about why I chose the Gardens of Boca Raton to be my final resting place. I have always been uncomfortable with thoughts of death and dying, but the very first time that I visited the Gardens of Boca Raton, I could feel my apprehensions vanish. Just knowing that I'd be spending eternity with my family in such magnificent surroundings lifted my spirits. The Gardens of Boca Raton is an all-faith, above-ground cemetery with tranquil surroundings, a place where your loved ones can come and visit you time and time again, remembering and celebrating your life. The gardens have caring professionals available to help you in your time of need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pre-need with 0% financing is available and prevents your family from having to deal with these matters at the time of their grief and sorrow. The Gardens of Boca Raton, dedicated to all those who have lived and all those who live today. Let the Gardens take care of your family as they are taking care of my family. Schedule a tour today. Call 877-PLAN-561 or online at thegardens.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
This is Steve Kane for attorney Barry Siegel. Barry did a great job for me and my family when we needed a revocable living trust. Listen to one of our listeners, Ray, talk about his experience with Barry Siegel.
I want to praise
Good
Barry
morning, everyone. If you're
and
just
one of the
tuning
most
in.
important things about sponsors is integrity. You have to know that you're dealing with an honest person. I had to go up to Myrtle Beach for my sister because her husband died, and I was helping her out. She had a trust and everything. She had not revised this trust since 1997. And you know, Barry says every 3 years at least you gotta. I called Barry's office because I had a question. I let the secretary know. I said, look, I'm calling from South Carolina. I know the laws are different, and I'm just asking for information for my sister. Now, you know, most people would just blow you off, right? You know almost a immediately, within a few minutes, Barry himself called me. I asked my questions and so on, and he answered. He was very patient. I was quite a while with him, and I talked about a lot of things, and this and that. But I wanted to say, character, integrity, these are the most important things with sponsors, and all of your sponsors, because I've dealt with a lot of them. They all have that you can trust them and you're getting a fair shake.
Do what Ray did. Call attorney Barry Siegel right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. That's 1-855 toll free FLA-3782. Tell him Steve sent you.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now, here's Steve.
All right. 4 minutes after the hour, my name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. So our convention is this. If you're just tuning in, by the way, Kellyanne Conway has quit. She abandoned her child 5 years ago. She's lost control of her 15-year-old daughter. You've seen some of the acting out. We're talking a little bit about that. Joe Biden says, vote for me. I'm going to shut the country down and lock you all in your homes until I say you can leave, which will never happen. So our convention is going to be at the White House this week. Melania is going to have some type of speech in the Rose Garden. And the Rose Garden, of course, she just redid the Rose Garden. Former New York Times reporter Kirk Eichenwald slammed Melania for renovating the White House Rose Garden on Saturday. Kirk said he's furious because the First Lady's a foreigner who has no right to wreck our history. The offensive outburst was condemned by even Jake Tapper, who said he was xenophobic and wrong. Eichenwald's outburst came within hours of Melania revealing the new-look Rose Garden on Saturday afternoon, completed in time for her to make her case for her husband's re-election as she speaks there Tuesday, tomorrow. And I've seen these photographs of the Rose Garden. It looks spectacular. And have you ever been to I've been to the Rose Garden. I did, yeah. I was there once. And it looks better now, I tell you that. When I was there before, it wasn't so much of a garden. It was just like a couple of roses around, like, oh, this is the Rose Garden. And just now it looks beautiful. Got all the roses on each side, that huge area of land they just saw right in the middle. It looks much better than it did before. But the left, she's a foreigner. I love it. Okay, so the first interview with Biden and Kamala, this whole thing that you're racist if you don't call her Kamala. Her name's Kamala, not Kamala. This is new to me. I did not know until a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a week ago, that her name was Kamala, not Kamala, or at least that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I'm sure there are people out there that have names that can be pronounced different ways. I've never seen someone get offended when their name is mispronounced or accuse someone of being racist because they mispronounced their name. I don't believe her name is pronounced Kamala. I believe her name is Kamala. Now, I believe that her mother called her Kamala. I'd like them to find some people that went to school with her who say they called her Kamala back then. I believe she went from Kamala to Kamala to sound more interesting and exotic when she entered public life. That's what I think. It's not racist to mispronounce someone's name. And another thing, she's only been in the Senate a couple of years. We barely even know who she is. Now, out in California, she may be famous. She's their senator out there, and they all know her name out there is Kamala, not Kamala. But to the rest of us, we don't even hardly know her. We know her a little bit more than we knew Obama. But if you remember when Obama was first on the scene, Joy Behar on The View called him Barack Osama once. Ted Kennedy called him Osama on the floor of the Senate. People mispronounced his name, Obama. Happened many times. One time he was being introduced, and someone introduced him as Barack Osama on a stage, and Obama came out and corrected him. It's not racist to mispronounce someone's name when they're new or have an odd name that can be pronounced multiple ways. But anyway, her first interview, she's with Biden. They're about 20, 30 feet away from one another during this interview. This is very interesting. She says that the president, Kamala Harris, said that President Trump has never said Black Lives Matter. Wrong. Listen to this.
And Joe speaks the words and actually knows how to say the words Black Lives Matter. Contrary to what the President of the United States, the current President of the United States does, which is to sow hate and division full-time, and has never spoken those words and will never speak the words Black Lives Matter.
Okay, so there's Kamala. The president has never said Black Lives Matter, and he never will. Well, this is followed by a clip from 2-3 weeks ago.
Current President of the United States does, which is to sow hate and division full-time, and has never spoken those words and will never speak the words Black Lives Matter.
And Black Lives Matter, nobody's done better.
Yeah, see, there he said it, Kamala. Just 2 weeks ago. Sorry. Okay, so Biden and Kamala sat 30 feet away from one another and gave an interview with ABC's David Muir. David Muir. I don't like that guy, David Muir. They're always trying to make him... You know what they try to model him after? They want him to be like the new JFK Jr. He's so hot and sexy, and he does news. Give me a break. So let's listen. This is the first interview with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, done by ABC's David Muir. Is that how you pronounce his name? Am I mispronouncing it? Is it racist if I mispronounce David Muir's name? I don't know. Here's the interview.
Morning come January, and we have coronavirus and the flu combining, which many scientists have said.
This is my favorite part.
Would you be prepared to shut this country down again?
I would be prepared to do whatever it takes to save lives, because we cannot get the country moving until we control the virus. That is the fundamental flaw of this administration's thinking to begin with. In order to keep the country running and moving and the economy growing and people employed, you have to fix the virus. You have to deal with the virus.
So if the scientists say, shut it down?
I would shut it down.
Okay, if the scientists say. Which scientist? Not Dr. Atlas. Vote for me. I'm going to shut down the country. How are you going to get the... I thought you were going to give jobs and get the economy booming like it's not already booming, Biden. How are you going to do that if you shut down the country? Well, he wasn't done. So this is the first interview with Biden and Kamala. Here we go.
I would listen to the scientists.
No questions off the table. They talked about race and policing and
no questions off the table. Really? Did they ask about the diamond that the Chinese gave Hunter? Did they ask about the crack pipe found in the back of Hunter's rental car and how someone with a history of drug use and no experience in the energy got that business, got that job over there in Ukraine? No. Did they play the clip of Biden talking about the shakedown of the prosecutor in Ukraine? No. No questions off the table, except the ones you want to hear.
Robin asking about a claim often made by President Trump that Joe Biden wants to defund the police.
President Trump says that you want to defund the police. Do you?
No, I don't. By the way, he proposes cutting $500 million out of local police support.
I don't know what the hell that's about. So he's trying to tell us that Joe Biden is trying to tell us that President Trump wants to cut funding to law enforcement. I don't think so.
Look, what the police need is first of all, there has to be national standards that in fact apply to every police department in the country. And
that's interesting. National standards that must apply to every police department in the country. So this is a very interesting thing. You know what he's talking about, don't you? Nationalizing local law enforcement. That's what Biden's. He wants to localize your local police and sheriff's offices. And if they nationalize them, well, that means they control them, right?
And that's what we're going to do. I don't want to defund police departments. I think they need more help. They need more assistance. And we have to make it clear that this is about protecting neighborhoods.
See, protecting neighborhoods. Yeah, what about, does that include Portland, Seattle, south side of Chicago? Atlanta, around that Wendy's there? What are you talking about? Always fear a Democrat who tells you that they're trying to make you safe.
Protecting people, everybody, across the board. So the only guy that actually put in a bill to actually defund the police is Donald Trump.
What is he talking about?
President Trump's attacks on Senator Kamala Harris.
Oh, here we go.
President Trump has referred to you as nasty, a sort of mad woman.
She is nasty. Go back to the Supreme Court hearings. Oh, my goodness. That's the first time I really heard of Kamala Harris. She was nasty.
Master, the meanest, most horrible, most disrespectful of anybody in the U.S. Senate. How do you define what you hear from the president?
Listen, I think that there is so much about what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth that is designed to distract the American people from what he is doing every day, that is about neglect, negligence, and harm to the American people.
And incompetence.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The idea that he would say something like that. No president has ever said anything like that. No president has ever used those words. And no president has said people...
Really, I remember when he dropped the F-bomb. Remember when Obamacare passed? Live on TV, Obamacare just passed, and Biden goes up to President Obama, hot mic, this is a big effing deal, man! And he didn't say, he said the word. I just used the letter. You used the F word in front of the press, Biden, on television, to the president.
People coming out of fields with torches and spewing anti-Semitic bile and met by people who oppose them, and someone dies and he says they're good people on both sides.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. Let me pull, I'm going to keep this permanently in the soundbite rack, because this is all Biden's guy. He said that the anti-Semites, white nationalists, were good people. No, he didn't, Biden. This is what Trump said.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
You hear that, Biden? Turn up the hearing aid.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
All right, there you go. David Muir. David Muir didn't play that. Nothing off the table. Well, why don't you play that clip, David Muir? You notice in all the advertisement for David Muir, he's always walking. Every picture's in black and white. He's always got a satchel or a backpack over him. You know, he's always looking at like some GQ ad. My goodness. That was a real pathetic interview, and you know, when Kamala laughs like that, that's when she's been busted and she's thinking of an answer to get herself out of it. All right, listen, I put a lot out there on the table today. We've had some calls in the first hour, not really up to the quality of call that I would consider the quality that I'm seeking out. I'd love to hear from you guys. Talking about a lot of things. I was talking about Kellyanne Conway leaving the White House. Has she neglected her daughter? I believe she has neglected her daughter. Making America great again takes a lot of work, and you know, some may say it's a worthy sacrifice. But yeah. So we'll talk about that and everything else we brought. I brought up a lot of stuff already this morning. It's 17 minutes after 7 o'clock in the AM. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. By the way, at MyPillow.com, incredible deals there at MyPillow.com. Buy one MyPillow, get a second one free. There's a lot of other great deals. Any deal you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of when you use the promo code Kane. MyPillow beach towels and blankets, when you use the promo code Kane, save up to 35%. The 6-piece MyPillow towel sets, when you use the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, buy one set of MyPillow towels, get a second set free. They come in 7 different colors. The Giza Dream Sheets, I have the MyPillow Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. They are out of this world. They are, no matter what the temperature is like, hot or cold, you're always the perfect temperature under these Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. from MyPillow. When you use the promo code Kane, buy one set of Giza Dream Sheets, get a second one free with free shipping. There's a lot of other great specials there too that you can take advantage of at MyPillow.com. And if you go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, to get all these great deals. There's also a way to get an extra $10 off if you go to MyPillow.com. If you don't have any MyPillow products, the starter, the MyPillow. Take advantage of that. Buy one, get one MyPillow free when you use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. And if you go there now, you can save that extra $10. So it's a great deal. All right, 18 minutes after the hour, we will be back right after this.
Did you know that all men begin losing testosterone generally by age 30? The decline in testosterone levels leads to a decline in general well-being. We slowly lose our energy, stamina, libido, sexual function, and a host of other symptoms. Men are bombarded daily with marketing for male enhancement techniques and other jiffy fixes. Most of the time, these are treatment mills where you may see a doctor once, but your treatment's going to be managed by technicians. This is Dr. Mitchell Matez. If you want personalized treatment by me, a well-trained, licensed medical doctor with 2 decades experience in age management medicine, call the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. Your evaluation, treatment, and follow-up will all be done with the doctor, and as always, the consultation with me, the doctor, is free for Steve Kane listeners. Call the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490. Or visit our website at hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Kane spelled with a K, like in Kamala, K-A-N-E, and the number 1. Numerically, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You know, this shooting in Wisconsin, black man shot, they're saying 7 times in the back. Local residents are going and burning the place down already. There's very little detail on this. We don't know why. 7 shots to the back seems excessive, but we'll find out more. But it doesn't matter what the situation. The local communities are set up to go and start to commit violence anytime there's an excuse to do it. Oh my goodness, I could not imagine. Now, they're bringing out the heavy hitters, the Democrats, on the Democrats, the mainstream media, they're in a panic right now. President Trump just fast-tracked an incredible treatment. He announced it last night for treatment of coronavirus. Now, immediately they were discounting the treatment. Fox News even had a guy discounting the treatment. CNN did, of course. I didn't watch MSNBC. I'm sure they did. But today that story's disappeared. And they're in a panic because this convention is going to be hot. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting, and it'll be highly rated. And they're really in a pickle here. They really are, because they're the bump. There was no bump for Biden last week. If there was any bump at all, it was Trump. And then after this week, holy smokes. Brian Stelter making this announcement about CNN coverage of the Republican convention, which starts today.
And the television networks are going to have interesting choices to make, interesting decisions to make about whether to cut away if there's this
Steve Kane Show
of disinformation happening live. Now, I can tell you, Daniel Dale, CNN's fact checker, he will be standing by. I think you will see him in prime time here on CNN, providing fact checks when necessary. But I also think we're going to see asymmetry.
Okay, so CNN, they will have Dale, whatever his name is, the chief fact checker, standing by to correct the Republicans and will cut away when they believe falsehoods are being broadcast during the Republican National Convention. Oh my goodness. I've never seen coverage of a convention like this. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You are on the radio.
Hey, Brian. Morning. It's Sherry from Texas. How you doing?
All right. What's on your mind?
This Conway situation of her leaving the White House, and the social media, of course, is going to be all over this, right?
Well, have you seen the last couple of months, have you seen her 15-year-old daughter with the live streams on TikTok and on Twitter and everything going on the last couple of months?
No, because I stay off Twitter.
Oh, no, you don't have to be on Twitter to know what's going on. It's been all over the news. Her daughter is 15. Kellyanne Conway has been working for the president for about 5 years now. And that's like having 5 jobs, working for the president of the United States. Her daughter, who's been poisoned by her father, Kellyanne Conway's creep of a husband, has been neglected by Kellyanne Conway, and she's been acting out for the past couple of months online. Her daughter's 15, so she was like 10 when Kellyanne Conway started working for Trump. Do you think working 100 hours a week or however long you're working when you work full-time for the president, and you've got a 10-year-old who's now 15, do you think you've spent a lot of quality time with that child, or have you not been around too much?
Well, the last time I checked, there's 2 parents, right? So where's her plaque of a husband?
Well, he works too. I think the situation's terrible, and everyone, I think we all agree that her husband is a creep, but she has not been there for her daughter during 5 important years, age 10 to 15. Has she neglected her daughter?
Well, I think there's several different levels of neglect. When you've got a child that's 10 years old and now she is 15, once they reach a certain age, they know, and I understand her mom is in a very high-profile spotlight, okay? She works for the President of the United States. There could be multiple reasons why this child is lashing out, and not necessarily...
No, but when you have kids, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I have 6.
You have 6. Okay, yeah, but when they were 10 years old, what were you doing?
I was a stay-at-home mom.
There you go. Now, if you were away, except for a few hours here and there, when you're home, you're probably on the phone, right? Dealing with some crisis at the White House.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's neglect. I love Kellyanne Conway. She's great, but for her daughter, who over the weekend before this announcement came that Kellyanne Conway's leaving the White House, was talking about wanting to be emancipated from her parents. I would say that her child feels abandoned and neglected by her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's true.
That plays into that. I think there's more that plays into her just working for the President of the United States. Personally, the behavior that her husband has shown to the social media, the way that he treats Conway, really paints a picture of how the home environment is.
Oh yeah, the husband's a creep. There's no getting around it. Kellyanne Conway probably should have quit years ago and took care of her kids. You know, and I think she's done it too late. There has been so much damage done in the mother-daughter relationship that I don't think it's repairable.
No, not at the age of 15. She's already molded.
You see, Kellyanne Conway, I mean, I love Kellyanne Conway. She's done great work, but she neglected her child for her career. You know, this whole idea, I hate that word notion. All the pundits, the notion, it's so overused. I hate that word notion. I hate it. It's like it's like nail. But let me finish here. Let me finish here because I want to hear your thoughts on this. This idea that a woman can do it all, right? She can reach the top level of career and be a wife and a mother. Well, that doesn't seem to actually be the case, does it?
No, it sure doesn't. Because it takes parents to raise a child.
That's right.
The best career, you can take, the best career in the world, but if you've got children, a boy needs a man, and a little girl needs her mama.
That's right.
And if you don't have both of those in the home, and you've got a broken home, or your home is fractured internally.
I mean, there's different types of neglect. I mean, obviously, the Conways are well-to-do, and her daughter didn't do without material things and food and basic necessities. But I don't think she had a typical upbringing with mom around, and I don't believe that women can do everything that a man can do while being a mother. It's the natural order of things. Fathers aren't around as much as moms in general, regardless of the sex of the child. And that's how we're. I know this is like gender-phobic or something to say there, but the natural order of things is for the husband to hunt and gather, and mom stay home and raise the children. And in the case of Kellyanne Conway's child, both parents have been checked out, and especially the mother. Since this girl was 10 years old, and now she's 15, and she's damaged because of neglect.
And now that the mom has stepped down from working with the President of the United States, now it's going to be a full-time job trying to reel this 15-year-old girl.
What Kellyanne Conway should do is Kellyanne Conway. I don't know what the financial situation of these people are. All right, I mean, I know she probably hasn't been making as much money the last few years as she was making in the private sector, because she's working for the president. She's making good money. She should cash out, take her daughter, move to some Iowa, Wyoming, Canada, somewhere far away where nobody bothers them like Mary Kay Letourneau. Remember her? She just died recently, and when that became a national story, her husband, she had 2 children with her husband. He divorced, took the kids, and moved to Alaska, so they could be away from everything and have a normal life. If Kellyanne Conway put motherhood and her child first, she'd cash out, get the hell out of Washington, get the hell out of media, and go somewhere far away and try to repair the relationship of her daughter that's been so damaged.
And you know what, Brian? I guarantee you that if I were to win the lottery, I would put half of it on the table. That's the plan.
Okay, I don't know what that means. All right, appreciate the call. 32 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll take our break. Steve Kane, of course, will be joining us. It's Monday morning. Don't go anywhere.
You've heard Steve Kane, Richie the...
Hey, you ready? Okay. Bye.
My kids look great. Besides the fact that, his assistant is really good, really nice. They're all really nice over there. The price was unbelievable. When I came home and I told my wife, she's like, I thought that thing was going to cost you 3 times as much. I said, so did I. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank Dr. Gupta.
Yes.
He's awesome. Appreciate your show. I listen to your show a lot. I only called in, this is the second time. Both times, one was to make sure I'm going to the right office where Dr. Gupta was, and then this one to let you know that he's great. I know you know he's great. I just want your listeners to know he's great. His assistant is great. The prices are great. Everything is great over there.
Awesome. Well, listen, I'm glad you had a great experience with Dr.
Yeah,
Gupta.
I did. Thank you again, Brian.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, and thank Steve, and you guys keep up the good work over there. I appreciate it. Dr. Gupta, you keep up the good work, too.
All right, there we go.
So everybody keep up.
All right, I think you guys just heard what will be the new commercial for Dr. Gupta.
Do what Hank did. Call Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. For Steve Kane listeners, free
That's right, Jeff.
consultations. And always the best price. Give Dr. Gupta a call right now. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing?
She chose the job over her children.
Probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. It's Monday, Florida's longest-running radio show. Okay, so the Republican Convention starts today, and the media, they started this late last week. They've all of a sudden discovered QAnon. And I don't know too much about QAnon either. I know what it is. It is a conspiracy theory, and I know a lot of these QAnon people are in the listening audience. Please take no offense, but there is no Q. It is, but the QAnon people are harmless. They're not marching through the streets of cities throwing balloons with poop in them at police like Antifa was last night, or burning down businesses or things like this. They just get together and on social media and share crazy conspiracy theories. So Chris Wallace, who is on a mission, it is to destroy the brand that Roger Ailes built at Fox News of We Report, You Decide. He's kind of like the Brian Stelter of Fox News Channel, Chris Wallace. He's just older and thinner, and Chris Wallace had Mark Meadows on, White House Chief of Staff, yesterday on Fox News Sunday, talking about QAnon, and this was a great exchange. Let me play some of this. This is Chris Wallace with Mark Meadows yesterday.
You can end this controversy right now. Does the president disavow...
Okay, yes, I'll end the controversy. Yes, Chris Wallace, you are a liberal a-hole. How about that? The controversy is in... No, but let me play that. This is Chris Wallace about QAnon. Mark Meadows he's talking to here.
You can end this controversy right now. Does the president disavow, does he condemn QAnon?
Well, listen, we don't even know what it is. I can tell you, you've spent more time talking on it, Chris, than we have in the White House. I find it appalling that the media, when we have all of the important things that are going on, a list of top 20s, that the first question at a press briefing would be about QAnon, that I had to actually Google to figure out what it is. It's not a central part of what the president is talking about. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know that it's credible. But I can't tell. No, Chris.
It's not my first question.
Well, I know. But it is your question that you're bringing it up, and it's ridiculous. If you want to talk about conspiracy, let's get back to talking about how the FBI and others within the FBI spied on the Trump campaign. I'll be glad to speak about that.
I got 30 seconds. The point is, it's a hate group. It's a group that is called...
By the way, QAnon is not a hate group, and it's not even a group. It's...
That's exactly right. QAnon. Good morning, by the way.
Yeah, hello, Steve Kane joining us.
It's not a group. We know a lot about. What I know about QAnon, as you know, Robert the Master Barber. Is big into this, and that's how I know about it. And it's an internet.
It's a bunch of conspiracy nuts. Yeah.
They don't.
No.
Guys, they don't do anything.
They don't have meetings. They don't meet anywhere. There's no.
It's just all, good fun and game.
A hate group is a group that marches down the street burning businesses and attacking police, like Antifa.
Exactly, like the things that Mr. Biden doesn't want to comment on.
Yeah, and QAnon, by the way, has been around for 2 or 3 years. Jerome Corsi used to talk about Q, and the theory, for those that don't know, okay, I know a little bit about it. I'll tell you what it is, okay? QAnon started with this guy, the theory of Q, and Jerome Corsi, who by the way doesn't subscribe to this anymore, but Jerome Corsi was very big into Q, and it was believed that Q was someone inside the government who had knowledge of all, that was inside all the insider meetings and would release information on the internet about what was going on. And even Jerome Corsi has disavowed this. There is no Q, there's no Q Army, there's no QAnon organization. There are people that have written some books about it, theories, and it's basically just a hashtag on Twitter. I mean, it's and the left are trying to create this. It's a fake hate group that the left are trying to create and connect Trump to it. There's no group. There's no group. Well, no, they are. They're trying to. The left are trying to create the lie that there is a hate group called QAnon and that Trump and his people are in league with them. There is no organization. There is no group.
What Trump said, which was interesting, when they said it had to do with a group that was into catching and destroying cannibals.
Yeah, the Q Continuum.
Cannibals and...
They were against cannibalism and child molestation. Yeah.
And Trump said, is that supposed to be bad?
Yeah.
Supposed to be, or isn't it a good thing if they're trying to get rid of people like that?
Yeah.
It's just a little personality cult or whatever it is. They're harmless. They don't do anything.
When they start marching through the streets and burning businesses and things, then let's talk. But a reporter, a reporter asked Kellyanne or Kelly McEnany about it on Friday, I think it was. I was watching it live, and that's when this, the left are trying to get this narrative going of some new hate group out there that doesn't exist. It's total fiction. Total fiction. There's people that talk about QAnon, but there's no organization, no members. They don't have meetings. There's no hate group. It's non-existent. And Chris Wallace knows it. He's just a creep. He knows it.
Of course.
Yeah. He's such a pansy. I tell you, I just don't like Chris Wallace. He's just a snobby snob. He's just a snob, an intellectual. He belongs on public radio or something, or PBS or something. I don't know.
Every week on Fox, I guess he feels more compelled to come out in defense of.
Every week he feels more confident to push the envelope a little bit, Chris Wallace. He just, you're right. Well, I played this clip earlier. Brian Stelter said CNN will cut away from the Republican convention when lies begin to be told. That they will cut away from their live coverage when lies are being told.
They should just tell the truth and say they don't want to give Trump the exposure, so they're not going to cover the convention. Which fine with us. There's nobody watching that channel that I think really matters.
I promise our convention will be more exciting than theirs was, which is not a difficult feat. You with me, Steve? I thought I lost you there for a second. Oh, okay. We've got a slight delay. Yeah, just so you gotta we'll get used to. We'll just have a slight delay. So,
this thing struck me yesterday with Biden that to me was the high point of my day. When Biden got up and he said that they asked him about whether he would close down the country again, and the answer that Biden gave shows either he is just totally dishonest or incredibly stupid, and maybe it's all of the above. I don't know, but he says, "Well, I would go with the experts' opinions."
The scientist's opinion.
Well, there is nothing connected with this whole damn
pandemic. Yeah.
There is not a single question concerning this where you can't find a scientist that agrees with one side or the other. You can find a scientist to back up any position you want to support. And for Biden to get up there in trying to intimate that there is an expert that is the definitive
yeah, Fauci.
There's none. Every issue is split. So you can just basically take the one you want to support and point to the expert of your choice.
Did you see any of the video of this interview with Biden and Kamala with ABC? They were sitting they were sitting 20 to 30 feet apart, Kamala and Biden. It's so ridiculous. And David Muir was the same distance from them. They formed a pyramid, and they were. I couldn't believe how it was so ridiculous. I mean, see, what the Biden camp is doing is when this was first happened at the beginning of the year, the COVID crisis, it was scary. We didn't know what was going on. People rushing to the store and overloading on toilet paper and stuff. There was the toilet paper shortage was out of panic. People were scared. They didn't know what to do, and they felt if they bought toilet paper, it was like a relief from the anxiety. And there was a lot of fear out there. I was afraid back in February, March. Biden's acting like it's still March. We're getting out of this. People want to get back to normal, and he's promising to take us back and put us under house arrest. I mean, that the main topic that came out over the weekend, and I know there's a lot of things in the news, okay? But the main thing that came out was Biden say, vote for me, I'm going to shut down America and put the country under house arrest. That's what he said, and it's kind of being forgotten because it happened a couple days ago over the weekend, and the media, they don't want to really cover it too much. But for him to say, vote for me, I'm going to lock everybody up, that's pretty hardcore. That was my biggest takeaway from the interview.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, I'm so split with this election as to not who should win, but on who I think will win.
Because you don't like to be a happy person. You want to be living in, Biden's not a credible candidate.
There's so many, yes, that's not the issue. I said long ago in the campaign, this is not a question of Biden or the Democrats or the Republicans. This is a question of where the American people are at. That's what's being tested here on Election Day. When I tune to these riots every night, night after night after night, the weeks turn into months, and nobody does anything about it, and they just get progressively worse. If last year at this time I would have suggested to you that something like that was possible, you wouldn't have believed.
I don't think the American people are with the side of the aisle that was throwing balloons with poop in them at police last night at Antifa rallies.
But they may be among the people that can watch that go on and not determine.
Let me ask you this question. I got a question here as we move towards a break. The story of the Antifa throwing the balloons with feces in them at police. How do they get the feces into the balloons and then blow up and put air in them? How did they do that? I don't.
This is breakfast time for most people.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems insane. Yeah, that's the Biden base right there. The feces balloon throwers. All right, listen, we're gonna take a break. When we get back, there's more to talk about. All right, don't go anywhere. I'm Steve Kane here. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. We'll be back.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. In the hour, I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
I'm Dr. Janae Lomaski. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. 2020 has been the year of coronavirus. So many of us have been locked in our homes for long periods of time. This can bring on severe depression, anxiety, and panic. Other worries such as job security, money, and health, as well as families unable to see one another. These are all significant in affecting our mental health. If you are experiencing these difficulties, give me a call at 561-777-2021. That's 561-777-2021. Medicare and TRICARE accepted. I'm available telehealth as well as in-office appointments. Give me a call at 561-777-2021.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we are back. There's no doubt. We don't know who's Trump's going to win the presidency. California will go to Biden. They're getting crazy in California. I'll play some audio here. A woman went into a store in California without a mask on. She was attacked and pulled out of the store, yanked out of the store by customers. These bleeps I added in, every bleep is the F word, except one's the S word. But let me play this. So where do I get the audio? Okay, here it is. This is California. A woman goes into a retail store without a mask, and the tolerant liberals jump her like zombies. Listen.
Get out of here! Get the out of here! Get out of here! Give me my keys! Get out! Give me my keys! Hands on everybody! Get the out of here! Stop my watch! Get out of here! Give me my keys! Get out of here! Get out!
Wow. I mean, where these Democrats are is out of control. I mean, they're just...
They're animals.
Yeah. And that wasn't an Antifa event. Those were just regular California customers inside a store, that had that kind of reaction.
California liberals.
Yeah, I know. California. I know. Where are the beach? The thing is, okay, to those people in California, when they hear Biden talk about locking down the country, they get excited about that. They think we should be locked down. And all the businesses should be. You and I are like, this is crazy. I think that they should highlight that clip. All right, let's take some calls. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Kane with a K, like in Kamala. Kane, and the number 1. Good morning. You're on the radio. I can't even say it like that. Oh, hey, Doug.
Guys, we all know the crazy people live in California. Unbelievable. Wearing masks. How many times do people have to hear that even an N95 mask doesn't really work that well? These other masks they're wearing are garbage. Don't do anything. They're nice to look at, maybe.
No, I don't know. If I haven't been in too many places where people are not wearing masks, but if I am somewhere and they're not, I get Laura Loomer had her victory party last week. I did not go And I wanted to go because I wanted to meet Gavin McInnes was there, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Roger Stone, and but I knew no one would be wearing a mask, so I didn't go. You know what I mean? I didn't start pulling people out by their arms like these California zombies did in that audio.
Wearing a mask, I didn't have to. Unfortunately, you have to wear it.
Well, you know, it's America. We have freedom. Hey, do you think? Hey, let me ask you this, Doug. Do you think Kellyanne Conway has been a neglectful mother?
Well, with that kind of money, they always have people to watch their children. But yeah, she misses some time with the kids.
I mean, she left her. Yeah.
See, you're missing the point of the whole story.
Okay.
The story is the story of the husband, not of.
You haven't seen the videos of the daughter.
Well, yeah, but how do you think the daughter got that way? Not from Kelly's Ann's neglect.
Both of them. Both.
One of those people like you heard in the last clip attacking that woman for not having a mask on. You're talking about, liberal Democrat.
It's both. But she's been poisoned by the father, George Conway, no doubt. But Kellyanne Conway, her daughter is 15. So Kellyanne Conway joined the Trump campaign when she was 10, and she hasn't been around for those important years of her daughter's life, and she wants her mom around, and it's it's a form of child neglect.
No, because there are millions of women just like Kellyanne that have jobs that are not as vital to the survival of the country, I might point out. But Kellyanne's, I don't see neglect there. I see the father working the daughter up to where the daughter is becoming the lunatic. This behavior is, they describe the daughter flipping out and freaking out and going on the internet and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Daughter's a nutcase, and she didn't get that from Kelly. She got that from the father.
Kellyanne Conway has a job that is sun up to sleep time 7 days a week for 5 years. The daughter between age 10 and 15,
Kelly's job could conceivably affect the entire future of this country. And when you say this country, you're talking about the world. I mean, these are important things that if the daughter wasn't a lunatic...
Oh, she's insane. You know who the daughter, because I've seen the videos of the daughter. No, she's just neglectful of her child.
She's not insane. If the daughter's insane, that insanity comes from the thought.
Yeah.
And that's the influence of extreme liberalism, and that you can't blame on Kelly.
The daughter, I've seen the videos of the daughter it's been going on for about 6-8 weeks. It's crazy. Unfortunately, yeah. She looks like both of them. But she's a mix of both. Luckily, she doesn't have the father's weight issues, though. But she's only 15. The Kellyanne Conway's daughter, some of these videos have really been disturbing, and she kind of reminds me of the Cash Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil. And there was one video a month or so ago. She was live streaming with hundreds and hundreds of people, Kellyanne Conway's daughter, talking about her parents' marriage, and Kellyanne Conway comes in and snags the phone out of her hand and ends the live stream. I mean, it's the daughter's. Well, yeah, but no, she did the right thing, but she wouldn't be in this trouble if she would not have left her daughter when she was 10 years old to be gone 7 days a week working for the president.
I'm surprised the women in the audience aren't deluging you with negative calls. I mean,
I think they agree with me. Who could disagree with me?
I do disagree with you strongly.
Well, I'd like to hear from some women in the audience. This is not a typical job that Kellyanne Conway has, okay? This is a job that takes every waking moment of your life, and when she's...
Affects the future of the world.
Well, okay. So she put the world ahead of her child, then. Put the world ahead of her daughter. I don't think you would. You
don't expect your daughter to react in such a crazy way That's the influence of the father.
The daughter feels abandoned by her mother, and I think that there's truth to that. Look, I mean, come on.
I think if you stop, you got to stop and visualize these fanatic liberal Democrats and realize the father is evidently, I've never even seen the father, but from what I read about and hear about,
Steve Kane Show.
He's a lunatic left-wing fanatic, and that's going to do a number on it.
Oh, yeah.
Blame it on Kelly. Should be able to work outside the house and should be able to have a career. What are you saying, Kelly's not entitled to have a career?
No, I didn't say that. But this type of career is something. This is the type of career. Well, let me answer. I don't think that I love Kellyanne Conway. She does great work, but I don't think that the world depends on her as much as you do. The world depends on Trump, but not her.
Well, that's where you and I difference. We keep going back to that story, which we will tell every day between now and Election Day, of back in 2000 when the presidential election was decided by 300 votes in the state of Florida. And when you realize these things are as close as they are, there's a chance it wouldn't be life or death, but it's so close that the smallest miscalculation or the smallest mistakes or whatever it is conceivably could affect the election. And you remember 2000, what we went through with the Chads and all that.
Yeah.
Very well have a similar thing here.
Yeah, we probably will if the Democrats have their way. Yeah, but listen, but we're talking about different things here. So we're not talking about how important. No, I'm talking about, did she neglect her daughter at age 10, leaving to go work for Trump? And I would say yes. She neglected her daughter. The daughter's been poisoned by her father, but also Kellyanne Conway not being around. I don't know. My wife, I don't know. I'll find out.
The common sense of the family.
Steve Kane Show.
I'd be if Kathy, if you're listening, we would love to get.
Well, listen, It's 8 o'clock. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Let's hear from some people in the audience. Did Kellyanne Conway abandon her daughter? Has she been a neglectful parent? Now, keep in mind, she's been working for Trump for 5 years. She hasn't been around from the time her daughter was 10 years old to now 15. Well, of course. You're like a push-pull. I think Kellyanne Conway's a villain here. She chose Trump over her child. Listen, I'm going to give out the number.
I want to hear from the women in the audience.
That's so sexist. We can hear from men too. Men and women, but listen, I'm going to give out the number. If you're on hold, stand by. We've got to take our break for the top of the hour. Question on the table. We're talking about Kellyanne Conway leaving the White House. Did she neglect her daughter? Did she abandon her child? Well, that's my question. Well, we've got all the questions out there. You're doing a push poll. I'm trying to find out what's really going on. Okay, but you can answer either of those questions. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, Kane spelled with a K, K-A-N-E, and the number 1-888-465-2631. 2 hours down, 1 to go. We'll be right back.
0.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
If you suffer from excruciating back pain or sciatica, pay careful attention to what I'm about to tell you. According to a study in the medical journal Spine, back surgeries to alleviate back pain frequently backfire, leaving the patient in more pain than before they had the surgery. A second study from the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine provides clear evidence that 74% of surgeries for back pain fail. But there is an end to your suffering. There's a solution to your problem waiting for you with Dr. Troy Lemaski. Dr. Troy Lemaski is my personal chiropractor, and if the name sounds familiar, it should. He's the brother of Dr. Janae Lemaski. Dr. Troy specializes in the elimination of back pain, sciatica, joint pain. He does it quickly, easily, and without surgery or pain medication. While he can help you with your back and neck pain, Dr. Troy also provides treatment for the hips, the shoulders, the knees. If you've been in a car accident, any type of injury, or slip and fall, the pain won't go away, well, if you want to get back to your old self, you want to call Dr. Troy. His number 954-463-3036. That's 954-463-3036. Online at drtroylemaskey.com. Tell him that Steve Kane sent you.
This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Matez at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. He's my anti-aging doctor. That's right, I have an anti-aging doctor now. I was starting to slow down a bit. I met with Dr. Matez, and he found that my testosterone level was low. We men begin losing our testosterone starting at age 30, and it goes down every year after that.
Steve
Dr.
Kane Show.
Matez told me I was approaching the beginning of
Hold on.
andropause. That's the male equivalent of menopause. I began bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. They're tiny little pellets inserted under my skin, and now my testosterone levels are being restored to where they were when I was 25 years old. Thanks to Dr. Matez, I have more energy, I feel better, I look better, my love life, it's better, and my wife, she's thanking Dr. Matez too. Bioidentical hormone pellet therapy isn't just for men, it works wonders for women by reversing the symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings. Men and women, you don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
It's different for a mother.
561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Well, call it on the air, guys.
Tell him Brian Craig sent you.
The
We're bringing it
Steve
up.
Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show.
Yeah, he is.
The Steve
Nasty,
Kane
bitter.
Show. To call the show
Low
toll-free,
self-loathing.
dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now...
All right, we're back. Third hour has begun. This is the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane, of course, here. I'm Brian Craig. We're talking about Kellyanne Conway, if you're just tuning in, has quit the White House to take care of her family, which has been a wreck if you've seen the daughter on social media the last couple of months. Question is, yeah.
Quit his job.
Well, Well, it's obviously the mother's love that she's crying out for.
No, absolutely not. I think it's the father's fanatic hatred that she's expressing.
See, I think you're trying to avoid the callers because you know they're going to agree with me.
She obviously identifies with her father. Would you not agree with that?
No, I do not agree with that.
Oh, really?
The father is political. This is no, she's abandoned. The daughter feels abandoned by her mother. She left home when she was 10 to go work for Trump.
Hold on, but not her father.
Her anger all seems to be towards the mother. I've been watching her videos.
Do with the father?
Yeah, he's probably around more. He's probably around more than Kellyanne. Probably around the house more than her. She probably has
more time to fill her with hatred.
Yeah. Are you afraid to take the calls? You don't want because you know they're going to agree with me. All right. These are all screenless. I don't know who's on hold, and I've had no conversations with anyone. I just get that out. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Do you think all women should be?
Yes, I do. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. Yeah, you're on the radio.
You're on the radio. Listen, I want to thank you because I don't sleep good, but the first 15, 20 minutes every morning, you pull me right to sleep. But I disagree with you 1,000%.
Well, wait a minute. So this is it. So this is interesting. So I put you to sleep at 6:15, and you're just waking up again. At 8:07? Oh, okay, great. Did you sleep well?
At me was not getting rid of that piece of garbage of a husband she has. There's the one that's
Steve Kane Show.
Not the Kellyanne. There's plenty of.
I agree with the caller.
Okay. He agrees with you.
Just the same as saying you're right.
99%.
Are you sure you've woken up? All right, let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, Brian, it's Bob from West Buffalo.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob, what's up?
I got to tell you, this is a subject. First of all, Kellyanne Conway, the first thing she should do is she should divorce that fat piece of crap.
Yes.
For not supporting her. She took a job, and all that guy did was sabotage her job for all those years and turned the daughter against her. Had he been more supportive,
Exactly right.
the daughter probably would have been a lot different. But that fat piece of crap has just destroyed that daughter.
Well, then don't watch Addison.
No discipline. What she really needs is Kellyanne ought to just get out a can of whoop ass and just bring it on that kid to say, I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Yeah.
And Meg was staying with the husband. They should have split long ago.
Well, she neglected her daughter by allowing her creepy husband to raise her.
Exactly, but what kind of husband is that? I mean, if you're on the air, okay, whether your wife agrees with you or not, she should support you. You would support.
Oh yeah, she's got Kellyanne Conway has a terrible marriage and a terrible relationship with her child. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's like every week I see something on Yahoo. Oh, George Conway makes fun of the president. George Conway putting together a PAC, an anti-Trump PAC. George Conway. I mean, this guy is a piece of human excrement.
Garbage. Garbage.
Is Kellyanne Conway? Let me ask you, Bob. Is Kellyanne Conway at all responsible for these poison relationships in her family?
No.
Well, she's responsible for the relationship with the husband because she married him. Okay, but as far as the daughter,
And she's also responsible for the fact that she stayed with him. She shouldn't be with him. He's an abusive son of a bitch.
she should have gotten rid of that piece of crap a long time ago.
Yes, you put that very well. Okay, Brian, surely you can find one person who agrees with you. Brian? Brian, hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't need people to agree with me to feel validated. I'm confident enough about myself. I'm not looking for validation. All right, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Yeah, Steve, I wasn't going to call back. Yeah, Brian never admits when he's wrong. I swear to God, I never heard anything quite like his mouth. It has to do with Kathy not working, raising his own daughter, which is his philosophy. And it's not Kathy's fault she's not working. But here's the deal. Jared Kushner worked more than Kelly, and they have beautiful children. It has to do with undercutting Kellyanne and a marriage. Brian will never admit that. It's amazing.
It's a factor. Yeah, you're here. I'm listening to you. I hear everything you're saying.
Factor, because when they go to, you don't know what goes on inside the house. Kellyanne's being embarrassed every day, and I'm sure they're fighting like cats and dogs. And the children got together, and the children said, listen, you got to stop both, you got to stop. This is out of control. And the fact is that this guy, the husband's also putting the organization, and he promised not to undercut you either. So it is.
I'll tell you, things are so. The husband has quit his job too, apparently.
Because the conflict in the marriage is creating the problem with the kids. They had enough. But it's not Kellyanne's fault for this.
None of it's Kellyanne Conway's fault. She left her daughter at age 10 to go work 24 hours a day for 5 years, and it's not Kellyanne Conway has no responsibility in her daughter's anger towards feeling abandoned by her mom. Come on. That's a different thing. First off, we're talking about a mother, not a father, and Ivanka is with the kids more. We're taught. Correct.
We said you don't think that's a little sexist?
By today's standards, it may be considered sexist, but isn't it traditionally the woman's job to take care of the kids?
We're not living traditionally. We're living by today's standards.
I'm living traditionally.
If a woman makes more money than a man and stays home with the kids to raise the children, you're going to see the mothers look like democratic control, Brian.
I don't think yeah. What, Steve? I'm out of control? Antifa's out of control, Richie, not me.
Hold on, I just wanted to tell you something. I don't know what's going on over the air, but I know in my headset it's...
Everything's fine. There's no static going out. There's no static going out. So, Richie, how am I out of control? I consider Antifa being out of control, not me.
All right, you're to the point where Kellyanne has neglected her children, which is a form.
Have you? Hold on. Have you seen, Richie, the videos of the live streams of Kellyanne Conway's daughter? Well, that may be why. If you saw them,
the question is who's responsible.
Both parents are, but mostly Kellyanne.
Why?
Because if you watch the videos that her daughter has been making the last couple months, they're cries for help and wanting the love and attention of her mother that she feels she hasn't been getting.
Let me say this to you.
Steve Kane Show.
And Kathy's a beautiful woman.
Hold on. Steve Kane Show.
Kathy told the daughter every day, your father is a low-life freak who wants Trump, who's a Nazi.
Yeah, she should have divorced the husband. I don't know what's going on in that freak show. All right, Richie, thanks for the call. Yeah, you want to take some more calls, Steve? I don't need validation.
We should go till we get at least one person in our vast listening audience that agrees.
We may be here for months. We may never get that call. Okay. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning. Okay, we'll take another one. That was the one that agreed with me, probably. Good morning. You're on the radio. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with Steve also. We have kids also, and even though Klaus, who is indoctrinating her with
Steve
all
Kane
this
Show.
hatred and dislike of trust, so I would agree with Steve on that. And just a second point, I think this fantasy that Trump is going to win without a question, if you just look around, just compare for a couple different things. One is, look at the number of signs in yards. When back in 2015, you saw Trump tents all over the place, and once in a while you would see something with, I can't even remember.
Well, there's a reason for that. The reason you're not seeing Trump Pence signs in everyone's yard now is because of the liberal violence around the country. People are afraid to put a sign on their property that they don't want to be an Antifa victim.
Were you not concerned last election also? I think all of us were.
Not like this, no.
You're recalling incorrectly, because I had heard that same thing from my kids. Why are you doing that? Secondly, Trump's big thing that he had were these rallies and everything. They got a lot of coverage, a lot of support, and those have been completely decimated. And lastly, the older population, which my guess would be voting more for Trump than for Biden, are going to be afraid of going into the voting place. I mean, you said it yourself. People are very reluctant to go, and I'm not really.
Now, let me tell you, there's a big difference. There's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans, okay? When it comes to this issue, okay? And I've talked to many people who say, I don't go out, I don't go anywhere, but I am going to go vote. But conservatives are not as fearful as Democrats. The coronavirus is going to depress the vote among certain groups, no doubt about it. But the Democrats are going to be the one that suffer the most because they've scared look at those people I played in California when the woman came in without a mask on. So Democrats nationwide are going to have a depressed vote. That's one of the reasons they're pushing for the vote at home thing, because they know they've scared their people so much they're afraid to go and vote in person.
But also the other part, the last part of this is the independents in the swing states that were very, I think, much more motivated, much more impassioned to vote for Trump. And unfortunately, and this is none of his fault, but what's happened because of this coronavirus, he will be blamed for the state of unemployment. He will be blamed.
Are you kidding me? We have 90% employment.
Hold on, let me ask you this: as you weigh the
Steve Kane Show.
factors as they compared last time to this time, how much influence do you give the fact that every night now you turn on your television and you see the country going up in flames? Who does that help and how much?
I think if it was focused on a little bit more by the Republican Party, it may have a little bit more credence, but you don't see enough of it.
No, I mean, whose vote? In other words, if this is my view, which I'm guessing you'll agree with. The two major factors in getting people to vote for Trump is, number one, the economy and combined with the virus, and the second one is the crime in America, the violence thing. How do you rate those in terms of importance and how big I mean, to me, I can't imagine any American sitting in front of the television every night watching these riots and going in and not voting for Trump. I can't imagine anyone.
Well, no, I don't disagree with you. The question is, will they go out and do it? And that's the question: is the base and the independents motivated enough? Not really the base. The base will always go out and vote for Trump. But
I think that watching your country get burned down day by day, I think is a great motivator.
You know, I was watching on YouTube, caller, on Saturday. A conservative girl marched with Antifa in Portland undercover, and it was high definition video, and they were marching through this neighborhood to a police station with bullhorns. If we can't sleep, you can't effing sleep. Get out of your house, mother effers. We're coming for you. You know, you talk about independent voters. Antifa is terrorizing people around this country, and they're seeing it. So this idea that this thing about you, first you talked about the signs, and what I told you is this. A lot of people are now putting signs up or stickers on their car because of the violence. They don't want to be a target. I was talking on Friday, this YouTuber couple that have this huge YouTube channel of RVing. They have a child that has an illness, and they were invited by a national charity to do a national PR event. These are not political people. They turned it down because they're afraid to go into a major U.S. city because of the violence. These are non-political people. They're called the RV Odd Couple on YouTube. If you guys look them up, you'll see them talk about this. You know, I think these undecided people you're talking about see what's going on. They see the Democrats in league with these people, and they're going to vote Trump. That's my take on it.
I agree with that. I mean,
Listen, we got a break, but thanks for your call. All right, Steve, it's 20 minutes after the hour. We'll take a break. Yeah, and if any
agree with you
on Kellyanne Conway and her child, it doesn't seem like there's any agreement.
1-888 GO Kane KANE, the number 1-888 GO Kane 1. We'll be back with your calls right after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire and Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices. And
Wi-Fi's out in here.
Beat Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops at
$175
a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445.
Hey, you're gonna have to have Tyler disconnect you and reconnect you.
957-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Yeah.
Does your
No,
life
I
insurance
don't hear it on the
policy
air. I don't
only
hear
pay
it,
someone
the
if you
static,
die?
but there's a
The new
delay.
life insurance policies
Your connection's
allow
a little.
you to access your
It's probably because your
benefits
grandkids are
even
using the
while you were
internet.
still alive. Due
All right,
to
let me ask
changes
you.
in the insurance
Hold on a
industry,
second.
all life
Hold on.
insurance carriers in
How
2020
close are
have
you to
adjusted
where
their
the
premiums
internet
to your advantage. Life insurance
modem is?
rates have been lowered due to the updated
Yeah,
mortality
okay.
tables.
Okay, all right, just have him
People are
disconnect and
living longer in
reconnect. It's
America,
probably because
and
the
that
kids
means
are
life
using it.
insurance
All right.
premiums are lower. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080 to learn more more. And for a free review of your existing life insurance policy, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
This is Steve Kane, and I wanted to share with you some thoughts about
I see it, but it won't connect.
Gardens of Boca Raton.
Oh, maybe it's just my
to be
device.
Final resting place. I have
right.
always been uncomfortable with thoughts of death and dying, but the very first time that I visited the gardens of Boca Raton, I could feel my apprehensions vanish.
I see it, Pat.
Just knowing that I'd be spending eternity with my family in such magnificent surroundings lifted my spirits. The gardens of Boca Raton is an all-faith, above-ground cemetery with tranquil surroundings, a place where your loved ones can come and visit you time and time again, remembering and celebrating your life. The gardens have caring professionals available to help you in your time of need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pre-need with 0% financing is available and prevents your family from having to deal with these matters at the time of their grief and sorrow. The gardens of Boca Raton, dedicated to all those who have lived and all those who live today. Let the gardens take care of your family as they are taking care of my family. Schedule a tour today. Call 877-PLAN-561 or online at thegardens.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, we are back. Are you back with us, Steve? You back with us, Steve? Gotcha. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Yes, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Diego, first-time caller.
Hey, Diego, welcome.
How you doing? Look, I want to say that last caller is nobody
Steve Kane Show.
supporting President Trump.
Steve Kane Show.
In my house, I live in Miami.
Hello.
Work at Pompano Beach. In my community, we have. I'm the one started with the sign Trump on my yard, and now people follow me. They put the sign around the empty yard. That maybe like 10 houses have the sign, and now the association send a letter to everybody say you can't put those signs over there.
Yeah, you got Democrats on your HOA. I mean, listen, I don't have a sign up in my yard, and it's for the same reason I told the caller. Yeah, who's going to put signs up with Antifa going through neighborhoods, trashing people, putting signs up?
An interesting thing. I'm glad you brought this up. My neighbor, my next door neighbor, has, I noticed yesterday, I guess it's new because I never noticed it before, a huge flagpole in his front yard with an American flag. And I noticed it for the first time. I guess it is new. I noticed it for the first time yesterday, and I got to tell you, I got a patriotic rush. You can't believe it. I went, yeah.
Hey, Mike.
And in fact, I'm going to, today I made a note. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to research it and find out where you can get flags like that. And I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to get one for my front yard. And number two, I'd see if I get that guy on as a sponsor. That would.
Yeah. Flags, yeah. Yeah.
When in my backyard, not from the backyard, going to the major avenue, Flagler Avenue, everybody pass, everybody comes. Then I know we have support. I know people. I don't know nobody in my neighborhood. I don't know nobody, and every time they call me and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna plant my sign too."
Well, with the last caller, we had to run for a break. If he calls again, I get into this. This is a call. The last caller, it sounds like somebody in his household has CNN and MSNBC on a little too much, and he's falling victim to that propaganda, because his outlook on America wasn't what I'm seeing. But anyway, hey Diego, you're a first-time caller. How long have you been listening to the show?
I was listening to you like 10 months ago.
Oh, how'd you find us? Just going through the dial?
Yeah, I go through the dial, and I was changing the station because I'm tired of reggaeton and stuff, funny stuff. So I'm on my way to work from Miami to Pompano, driving on the highway. I do the dial, and I see you talk.
That's right. All right. Well, welcome to the show, Diego. That's right, in Spanish.
Everybody, Cuban people have a lot of Cuban friends, and everybody for Trump.
Are you? What's your accent? Are you Cuban?
I'm Argentinian.
Argentinian. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Thank you for calling. Still, no one agrees with me, Steve. You're on the radio. Good morning. Oh, PJ. Hey, PJ. Hey, PJ.
Hey, PJ. What's up?
Hey, I have a question about the, and it's a little bit off the topic of politics.
Aren't all your calls off the topic?
No, I have a question. I have a question, actually.
Yeah, does it concern what we're talking about?
Well, it concerns, like, it's just an interesting, it just fascinates me, is that the first storm you're supposed to do to hit the same area of Louisiana.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Hang up. Yeah, I know. Well, you know. Now, Steve.
You have a hot discussion going.
Yeah.
It's no time to switch into named storms, BJ.
Yeah.
But you had to get your way.
Yeah.
The control freak.
Yeah. This. That's correct. What is it? I paid for this mic, literally. The thing with Kellyanne Conway and the daughter, don't misunderstand me. I love Kellyanne Conway, and I desperately think she's helpful to President Trump in his re-election. She got him elected the first time. But the husband's a monster. But with that being said, yeah.
Is a monster.
Steve Kane Show.
The daughter identifies, for whatever reason,
Hello?
Kelly wasn't there enough or whatever, but she identifies with the father. She's taken.
Yeah. Well, that's because the mother abandoned her. She's been raised by the father.
No, well, but that if there was a decent father, it wouldn't have happened.
10 to 15. 10. Well, so I'm supposed to change my opinion. I'm supposed to change my opinion because Richie disagrees with me.
Big enough. Only if you're big enough to recognize the fact that you made a mistake.
I don't think I've made a mistake, and I don't think I was wrong. No, I don't think I was wrong or made a mistake. What? Because Richie doesn't agree with me?
And everybody else who's called today.
Anonymous people that I don't know, I'm supposed to change my opinion because some people don't like what I said that I don't even know? I don't think so.
To change your opinion because you're a thoughtful, intelligent person who should know better.
All right, good morning. You're on the radio. Speak up, caller.
I just want to say I completely agree with Steve.
Okay.
The father does not sound like he's backing the mother one bit. Plus, it's not the length of time a mother spends with the child, but the quality of the time.
Well, the only time I've seen her with her child is when she yanked the phone out of her daughter's hand during the live stream. Listen, the father went... Yeah.
Parents do things they shouldn't be doing all the time. But in this case, I completely agree with Steve. And you don't know everything that happens. And if the father's a psycho, he's not, and she's following the father. That's not very stable.
Well, the father, listen, Kellyanne Conway should have dumped her husband a couple years back. I mean, for him to undermine his wife at work like that is insane to me.
Change is hard for many people, but we're talking about the daughter, and she probably is a very sensitive child. She probably did want more attention from her mother. But if her father is constantly bad-mouthing the mother, it's not one bit of...
Well, listen, remember Ronald Reagan had a terrible relationship with Ron Reagan Jr. and Patty Davis. And they were always doing things while he was president that were embarrassing. Ron Reagan Jr. took a role in a movie where he used the N-word every time you saw him on scene. His daughter posed in... Let me finish, caller, then respond. And President Reagan's daughter posed in Playboy, and she used to do stunts. You know, and they were angry at their father, Ronald Reagan, because he dedicated his life to politics and career, and they felt abandoned. That's why they did those crazy things. And Kellyanne Conway's daughter, I view kind of like a Ron Reagan Jr. type.
Well, I don't think they were 50 years old and got all that.
Well, that makes it worse.
Getting.
That makes it worse.
The mother in any relationship, whether there's divorce.
What?
And that the father obviously the father identifies Kellyanne with Trump, and the father hates Trump. So obviously he's got more than a share of hostility, towards.
Caller, would you have left your daughter at 10 for a job like this? Hey there, hold on. You there, caller? Who knows?
I think any patriotic American would.
But there are a lot of working mothers. Some working mothers have 2 jobs, but their husband is not busy bad-mouthing them.
I'm not saying the husband is an angel here. The husband obviously poisoned the husband poisoned the daughter. Yeah, well, Kellyanne Conway can't control her husband. She can control herself, and she should have quit and taken her daughter and moved to Wyoming and got away from the father.
Or given the daughter to the father. That would have been good.
No.
Throw them both out.
A responsible job.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate the call. I'm not going to find any support in this audience for traditional family.
This audience is your audience, okay?
Yeah, not today. Yeah, that's right. Not today. Oh, look what time it's time to check in with Richard Pearl from Simply Natural. Hey, Richard Pearl, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so, one of the advantages of what I do for a living is that I deal with a lot of first responders. And they're very interesting people because they not only are caring about other people, but they also know what's really going on. And I hear things way before it hits the media. And I have some people who work at Jackson. The one came in the other day and pointed out she's a nurse. She dealt with the are not getting as sick, and they're not needing hospitalization as much.
Oh, yeah, it's only one call a day.
Really
One call a day.
clear
Call tomorrow.
that, the markets understand this as well, and you're seeing areas like Carnival Cruise Line as we're available. I mean, the goal of our business is to make people's lives.
Our convention, on the list of speakers is that kid that was harassed by the media with the school kids. Remember, with the fake Indian? That's amazing. Well, I mean, when you look at, this is interesting who we have. So Nick Sandman, right, is his name, the kid that was attacked by the fake Indian guy. I wanted to say guy, so people don't think I mean Elizabeth Warren when I say fake Indian. That couple from St. Louis that protected their home from the mob. We've got a great list of speakers that sound very interesting to me compared to what they had last week.
And plus, we have the greatest speaker of all every night, and that is, of course, our candidate, Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Part of the reason the Democrat convention bombed last week is most of the speakers were not seen nor heard publicly because they were so radical. But I have a bit of a montage of that. This is a highlight reel. It's about a minute long. A highlight of the speakers that they did not put on in prime time from last week's Democrat National Convention. Listen.
To the 2020 Democratic National Convention. We're talking about abolishing the police. We're talking about abolishing ICE. We're talking about abolishing prisons.
This future that we all want, that we're all trying to build, really is about the destruction of capitalism.
Many of the ideas we fought for, that just a few years ago were considered radical, are now mainstream. America, if you don't get your act together, you may well go to hell.
Why can't folks imagine a world without the cops? Why can't folks imagine a world without prisons?
I've never felt American. I don't know the Pledge of Allegiance. Those are not my systems.
You may rise or kneel if you are able, for your preference.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible.
One nation, indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all, someday.
It is absolutely our party in this moment.
Okay, now, if you noticed, they took... that is a Trump online ad they put together, which I imagine we may see at the Republican convention. And at the end there, at the end of that, if you notice, they took God out of the pledge every time when they said it, except during when they did the pledge on primetime, that was on television live, they had under God. But when it wasn't carried on television, they took it out, and those were all official speakers at the Democrat National Committee last week.
What a bunch of creeps.
Oh, yeah. I know. I mean, it's pretty... that thing with taking God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm getting excited about this flag thing. Where would you go to buy a big flag? I mean, the big...
Well, you're looking for different things. A flagpole? I don't know. You want to put a flagpole in your yard?
The front yard.
I imagine there are people who install flagpoles. I do not know. I've never. That sounds like a pretty cool thing, though. I wouldn't mind having one. I would if I could get on the internet. I haven't been able to get on the internet all morning. Yeah. Yeah, my internet connection has been down for the last 2 hours, so I can't get online. I don't know why, but yeah. What would you put on the flagpole other than the American flag? Would you put the Trump flag underneath the American flag?
The rainbow flag.
What would you put what about the Confederate flag? American flag, Confederate flag, Trump flag. What would you put on your pole?
No, I wouldn't. I don't have a problem, any problems, as you know, with the Confederate flag, but I don't think
You wouldn't fly the Confederate flag?
For me, the American flag.
Yeah. I'd like to have a flagpole in my yard, too. You got to be a real specialist to put that in, though, because it's got to withstand the hurricanes and everything. That's not something that you can, yeah.
It's obviously production. It's not a yard sign, that's for sure.
No.
Information from my neighbor. He did it, so.
I've got one of those flag things on the side of my garage that you can put a flagpole in, and sometimes I have an American flag there, but they get weathered. In I just actually took mine down not long ago. It was weathered.
To take it down and put it up every day.
Yeah. I just usually leave it up.
It's involved. The kids and the grandkids will have a flag raising ceremony every morning.
And you have to take it down at sundown. I think it's illegal to fly the flag in the evening. I think you have to lower it in the evenings. So you'd have to get out there, get a little trumpet for the national anthem, say the pledge twice a day, up and down.
Kids teach Tyler how to play the trumpet.
I'm sure Alex in the Army knows the proper etiquette to raise and lower the flag. Would you get that Antifa flag with the fist? Would you fly that one? This video I was watching of the Antifa march at the police station in Portland over the weekend was scary. And the video, yeah.
But this is very important.
You want to talk about the hurricane names like PJ did?
Oh, I want to find out an update on this. There's been another shooting by a police officer
in Wisconsin. This is all I know. If anybody knows more, please call. Here's what I know. The last update I saw, and since I can't get online, I can't get any more updates, but unarmed black man shot in the back 7 times is the story I heard.
From what?
Every mainstream outlet reported that, including Fox, but I don't have any updates.
List I heard, and from what I heard, he was running a raid. He was in the midst of some heavy-duty acting out when this.
7 shots in the back sounds excessive, though. We don't know anymore. That sounds excessive. In the back, 7 shots? I don't know.
Somebody pushed him from behind.
Well, what would that have to... You mean the cop? And the gun went off 7 times? And some guy's back? I don't know.
I give the police officer the benefit of...
I don't know. Well, yeah. I always give the cops the benefit of the doubt. Proven guilty by a jury of their peers. That's right. All right, listen, we'll take our last break of the day. When we get back, it's Gold Report time. Don't go anywhere.
You think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983.
Yeah, I know. Steve didn't want to talk about that, PJ. Sorry.
Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. It's summertime, and that means backyard grilling time. There's no better grill than the Big Green Egg Grill, available at Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware. The Big Green Egg is the world's most versatile charcoal cooking device. It's made of advanced ceramics, retains heat and moisture so that foods don't go dry. The Big Green Egg isn't just another grill. It's also an oven and smoker. It's the only outdoor cooker you will ever need because of the amazing variety of foods that can be cooked on it. The Big Green Egg not only sears steaks, hamburgers, pork chops, and fish, but also baked spread, pizza, cookies, cakes, and pies. You can smoke turkey, ham, lamb, chicken, and ribs for hours on end. Your neighbors will be impressed and come over just to watch you cook on the Big Green Egg. The Big Green Egg is available at Ace Hardware Deerfield at 365 South Federal Highway, just south of Hillsboro on the west side of US 1, and at Beach Ace Hardware at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea. If you have any questions, call Ace Hardware Deerfield at 954-531-6265, 954-531-6265, and Beach Ace Hardware at 954-776-5811. And when you stop in, make sure you tell Frank you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place for the helpful hardware, folks. Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, now the moment you've all waited for, and that we wait for each day on the Steve Kane Show at this time, the Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman, one of the world's leading experts when it comes to the precious metals. William has been advising clients on trends and movements in all the precious metals markets for over 50 years, and 16 of those years he's been doing this report right here on the Steve Kane Show. William, how are things looking at the beginning of this week?
Starting off good, Steve. Last week we saw the metals trade pretty much in a range of $1,920 to $1,960 after coming down from the highs of 2055 range. The lows came in around $1,906, and we closed out the week at $1,942.40 on Friday. Silver closed at $26.82, while platinum closed at $916, and palladium closed out the week at $2,069. The dollar much weaker this morning. The dollar index around 92.95 is giving some strength to gold again, with the range right now low overnight of $1,929 and a high of $1,963. And right now, gold trading at $1,948 the ounce. That's up about $5.60 from Friday. Silver up 18 cents at $27 the ounce, while platinum is up $4 at $920, and palladium is up $14 at $2,083. Are you there?
Yeah, I sure am. I sure am. It looks like going to be another good week to take advantage of this pullback. It's not going to be here forever. Things are going to continue their upward move. So any day like today is a good day to stop by William Youngerman, located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road. That's the Bank America building, right on the first floor across from the bank. William, give him the phone number.
Sure, 1-800-327-5010, 800-327-5010. Our hours are from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we have all the precious metals in stock for immediate delivery.
All right, and don't forget the magnificent website, museum quality website at WilliamYoungerman.com. William, we'll talk tomorrow right around this time, all right?
Okay, have a great day. Thanks.
Now, did you see they're trying to further slander President Trump with the niece, and the niece has 18 or 19 hours of audio recordings of the president's older sister, the federal judge, and the Washington Post says that she trashes President Trump, says he can't be trusted. Now, I don't know what context that is in. I'm sure there's some money issues and conflict inside the family. Yeah.
Revolves around money and who got left what.
Well, before we get to that, if they had 19 hours of Melania trashing Trump on tape, I'd still vote for Trump. I don't care what they come out with. I'm voting for Trump. Nothing would stop that. And I think most Trump people feel that way. But, we don't know how the Trump organization is set up. Trump was left the Trump organization from his father, and he greatly expanded it, obviously. It would seem to me that every member of that family has some ownership in the Trump organization. He's made them all filthy richer than they would have been anyway.
What happened is Donald evidently got the lion's share of what there was to leave.
Yeah.
He's the one running the business.
Yeah.
Sense when you think about it. And the other relatives who were left a lesser amount
Are still rich as hell.
and are pissed about it.
Yeah, it's all money. It's all money. And you know, the sister and the niece, right? The sister and the niece, neither of them came to the funeral of the brother at the White House the other day. I mean, this was the woman's brother. She didn't go to the funeral of her own brother, and now we're supposed to say, oh, well, she says Trump can't be Trump. I'd like the Washington Post to and what situation did the niece record for 19 hours, the aunt?
It was recorded surreptitiously.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of people are these? I mean, these are just really low-life people. They really are, you know. But, Washington...
Diversion, it's just a way of trying to take away from all the positive things that Trump is going to be discussing, which are his accomplishments.
You notice how that treatment last night that the president announced, it's barely mentioned in the news. They're not even bothering to discount it. They're just ignoring it today.
This is a real trap, though, for Biden. He'd better be careful, because what's going to happen, I think there are going to be a series of developments between now and Election Day on the virus. And whatever they are, I think you're going to find Biden, it's going to become obvious to the voters in the course of what's going on with these treatments that what we have known all along, which is that Biden doesn't really want to find him.
Yeah.
After the
unless he wins it.
Look, once the public realizes that, that's going to be very detrimental.
Well, I mean, listen, I think most people, yeah, that's true. You know, most people, I think, knew as soon as the president announced this fast-track treatment that the left and the media were going to discount it immediately. I mean, we all knew that because we know they don't want a treatment. Yeah.
Vaccine is available. They're going to be casting doubts about it.
Yeah. That's why he didn't have Fauci there yesterday, because he knew Fauci would be out there discounting the treatment, like he always does. Yeah, that's what Fauci does. I'm glad he didn't. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I got to tell you, open for lunch and dinner, Wings Plus, the Sample Road location, about a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road in Coral Springs. And, you know, those wings are at it. I'm a big wing guy. And as I often say, I was eating at Wings Plus for many years before they were a sponsor on the program. The wings are the best I've ever had anywhere. And I've had wings at any place that sells wings. And nothing matches the flavor of the wings at Wings Plus. And the wings at Wings Plus, Steve, they are so full of chicken. You know, you go to some of these places, they give you like these little tiny things like they grizzle. Not Wings Plus. And you said your favorite dish at Wings Plus is what? I forgot. You told me on Friday. The hamburgers?
I love the hamburgers. I love the soups. They have tremendous homemade soups. The clam chowder and lobster bisque and things like that. Salads all fresh. Best hamburger you'll find anywhere. There's every item on the menu. The chili, extra meaty, delicious chili. Cooked to your taste. You want to get it a little more spicy, they'll do that for you. You want to get it a little milder, they'll do that for you. And bring your what do they call it? What do they call the equipment that?
Masks. Yeah, yeah.
Masks. And football season is going to be starting first week in September. Boy, it gets really crowded at Wings Plus on the to-go line. You know, what I always do is put in an order from down in Cooper City and drive up during halftime to pick it up. A great football tradition at Wings Plus. Give me the address.
Well, again, it's Wings Plus, Sample Road in Coral Springs, about 1 mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road. You can't miss it. Wings Plus, Sample Road location. All right. You know, this convention is going to be so... This thing that I played earlier, Brian Stelter saying that CNN will have a fact checker live in the studio, and they will cut away. Let me just end by playing this. This is Brian Stelter talking about CNN's plans during the convention.
And the television networks are going to have interesting choices to make.
Steve Kane Show.
Decisions to make. about whether to cut away
Hey, Carl.
if there's this stream of disinformation happening live. Now, I can tell you, Daniel Dale, CNN's fact checker, he will be standing by. I think you will see him in prime time here on CNN, providing fact checks when necessary. But I also think we're going to see...
Yeah, and on CNN. I'll be watching on Fox News, thank you. I'll probably be watching on YouTube, Right Side Broadcasting. But they're going to cut away if lies are broadcast from the convention. They will cut away. What the hell? I've never heard of anything like that happening during a convention before. They're really scared.
If we did that with the Democratic convention, there would have been no broadcast.
That's right. Let's take some calls here. Carl in Columbus, you're on the radio.
Hey, Carl.
Steve. Hi. Hey, I was watching Morning Joe a little bit this morning.
Shame on you. Shame on you. How dare you?
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Hey, you got to know what the enemy's thinking.
I know. Do it after 9.
And what they were saying was that Trump is so dangerous that he's willing to push an unsafe vaccine before the election.
Right.
And that any vaccine that comes out before November 3rd is just willy-nilly.
Well, that's interesting. You know, Joe Scarborough, is he a medical doctor who specializes in research of treatments? Where does he get this expertise?
Pundits and
lackeys
saying that.
Lackeys?
Medical hacks.
Yeah.
Just because somebody has an MD doesn't mean they're credible. You know, Mingala was a doctor. You know, it's
going to really cost them big. I mean, with people who are neutral, it's going to cost them big. I mean, hardcore anti-Trump people are immovable, but for those few who are still deciding are going to be turned off if they start bad-mouthing cures.
Hey, listen, we're out of time for today, Carl, but thanks for the call. You want to take us out, Steve?
And I will take you out on behalf of our incredible technical director, Tyler Kane, my partner, Brian Craig. I am yours truly, Steve Kane. Until tomorrow, God bless Donald Trump.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Palmetto Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Take care.